Barnes Restaurant is celebrating 50 years of serving Savannah, offering these delicious, money-saving takeout specials.
20-piece hand-breaded chicken finger basket for only $19.75. 12 pieces fried or rotisserie chicken for only $19.75. And feed a large group quick with our 50-piece fried or rotisserie chicken for just $50.
Call ahead for faster service or order online at barnesrestaurant.com.
The Georgia High School Association and Watch BC Sports present round one of the state high school football playoffs here in the state of Georgia as your Benedictine cadets take on East Forsyth here in the Gainesville area of Forsyth County. Round one of the state AAA playoffs. Devin Thomas and Christian Gotel. We start in shorts and t-shirts. You know you're in the playoffs when you have the hoodies. And you start keeping the hands warm, toes, feet, all that kind of stuff. We're glad to be here. The Barnes Restaurant pregame show as we get the best time of year. You get one Christian to play one more. And that's the theme. David Richardson said that earlier this week. This is the time of year that it's not just one big one. We're making the playoffs. That's the expectation. And then we get one and play one more. How fast it goes by. All the off weeks, it's still seems it has come to this point very, very quickly. Tonight, I think we have a 5-2 machine that
upset-minded team did what they needed to do to get to the playoffs versus a team whose eyes from the beginning of the year have been in Atlanta and won the state championship. So the playoffs now, it's like that third season Kevin talked about at the beginning of the year. You'll go way back in July and August, and you're playing that non-collegiate schedule and to see who you are. BC goes on the road, takes on Camden and Cook County to start the season, and goes to Buford and go to Burke County. There's so many trips, it seems like so long ago, but the team develops and develops, and gets to the second season, getting the major play. That's really when BC started hitting their stride a little bit, go in undefeated, when a really talented region on that. The bet kind of coming around quietly around Georgia is, can this region go undefeated? I don't think it was a surprise to anybody, and so you win that region go undefeated. Now the third season starts, and you set yourself up really well by winning the road. You guarantee yourself at least one home game now. If you win this game, you guarantee yourself another home game in round two. So BC has done what they needed to do to accomplish their goals. But East Forsyth comes down here. They're in the playoffs. They've been in the past 3 times now. They've lost both times. They're a program that wants to take that next step, and it could be a monumental step if they were able to do that. Take that BC.
A big feather in your cap if you're able to do that. That being said, BC they got a lot of rest this year. I think this stretch of the playoffs might be the longest second year they've got to play all year. This has been 3 games. You get an off week, 3 games, you get an off week. I had a couple of double off week in there. Everybody since they had the off week last week, we just had a team that has outage tonight. Isaac Scott is running those play and they're ready.
Yeah, that's a team that dealing with injuries. Tonight about healthy, as we have seen BC in the next 4 weeks to heal a little bit. BC got to your bench now, and then you're way back out on their benches and some this week. So the fact that you're doing that in season and helping us able to get the team right out of substantial balance you have your defensive back. Cam Cody had to close it. He's in there for 25 and 5 and 6. We're going to stop it. We're going to stop the 5 and 5. So it's one of those things, David. You're healthy. You're getting ready for a big run here. And it came at a great time. I think both teams have been ready from it.
Certainly, and again, BC I mentioned it. Pregame it was I think the most talented offensive team you've had. And BC got a great player in terms of the sheer number of guys to go big plays. That is how you keep it a statement. How do you think that statement kind of led the rest of this team getting more spectacular? See this next game play and quite frankly, that is what it is. East Forsyth. You can't cover. They have a couple of good skill players, but we have 4 or 5 guys that can cover a fight in the game. To me, has been as good as it's been since they ABC. Maybe that's a thing when you talk about Stanley Spark as a they'll gal back, and then you're still running the jet sweeps and all the standards and classics. If you want this offense, I mean, the weak spot with the offensive line is I don't know how many teams have enough guys to cover the amount of sheer athletic talent that BC's put out there in 2025.
You're absolutely right. And East Forsyth, we'll talk about this, like you said, about more of the keys to the game. But I feel like right now, coming into this one, you've got to understand that offensively, defensively, special teams, you've got to be able to every guy. So, sure, you can't cover everybody. You have to send 6, 7 guys every play because you know for a fact your back end are not going to cover 4 or 5 guys like BC has out there in those different places. So, for East Forsyth, I think it's just got to be a good game.
Certainly, and again, BC, I think the expectation, personally, again, this is not meant to be disrespectful, but sometimes you look at the draw, and I think you look at the draw that BC got, and it's one of those things, if you play well, there's not a team that you look at and say, ooh, we're kind of looking down that game. I mean, you look at the bracket just below, and you've got North Oconee, you've got Marist, you've got Stockbridge. I mean, you've got a lot of teams that have pedigree, tradition, a recent history of doing well. You don't have as much of that in this quadrant with BC. Not saying you look ahead, but it's one of those, if you go out and do it, worry about BC, worry about yourself. There's no reason this team can't make a good game.
No, but there's 2 teams in this grade classification that's a chance I think to win the state championship. But you're right. Just looking at it, around 3, 4 of these schools, you got very fortunate in the other side because there is I think BC kind of feels like, hey, we're going to lead every game. So you get to see finals and you're able to get there. So it's winning the region, really winning your finals,
in the tailgate area. 22 minutes till kickoff. 22 minutes till kickoff.
We're not sweating it, but it's not freezing cold. Either one been fed off. We had to play at home last year on the road, and it was pretty cold nights up in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. If you just kind of get to that standpoint now, it's cold for here, but it ain't freezing. You know, you're not hey, I'm worried about not feeling my toes when it's all said and done. So tonight, I think that certainly plays in a huge advantage for BC. Last year, people talk about bus rides and all the modern conveniences and buses and all that. I would say is we did it with the team. That got a little old 3 weeks in, and had they won, I'd do it again and do it again. So just the fact you get to stay at home for at least 2 rounds if you win is so huge in making it.
No doubt. And just being able to wake up in your own bed, but then get on a big bus and head all the way up to Atlanta. The team did 3 times last season. It's such a big thing, and people play multiple fans. It's going to be big for communication side.
And it's the 4th home game. People forget that
this is our game. Trying to earn a 5th one here, but yeah, I think after last year, you really value winning your region and earning those playoff games. And I think you guarantee yourself that you if you make it to the finals. After that, the quarterfinals, then you go to the semifinals, and obviously the state championships in Atlanta. So just for your buddies and life, being able to do a team is so big. I also say this every now and then, you're that team when you play for the first week. You kind of galvanize you a little bit from the outside because you get to get in there with players and speak out with them on the class. And again, there's about a stadium that already has so much for people to park in the parking lot. So it's just good because you get to rid of the outside noise. But 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, it gets
It puts a strain on your football team. They don't have to do that here. So you're cruising along here in the Barnes Restaurant Pregame Show for 50 years of service in the Savannah community, and they have been celebrating with us all season long, pushing our health with those 50-year deals. College football tomorrow, go ahead. Put them on the speed dial for the morning. Get that tailgate, get that party platter set up. 50 pieces of chicken, $50. 50 chicken tenders for $50. 5 pounds of barbecue for $50. And go ahead and call Barnes Restaurant first thing and get it set up for a big football weekend. And you should have done it for today and had it set up for the tailgate tonight. So Barnes Restaurant been with us here all season long, celebrating 50 years right along with them. We'll come back as the countdown to kickoff continues here on Watch BC Sports.
As the world's largest lifestyle retailer of recreational boats and yachts, MarineMax is dedicated to connecting people with life-changing experiences on the water. More than just a boat retailer, MarineMax offers a complete range of services. 3518 Old Tybee Road, Thunderbolt, and online at marinemax.com.
I'm Kenny Granger from Cash and Carry. We're a family-owned business right here in Savannah. We have sections of vehicles that really make it all simple. You'll get a printout of where the vehicle's at, the color of the vehicle. We really want them to be able to come in the yard and find out right where they need to be. The average savings would be at least 70, 80, could be even 90% compared to original manufactured parts. So you can come to a place like Cash and Carry and find the parts that you need at an extremely reasonable price. We'd love for you to come check us out.
Barnes Restaurant is celebrating 50 years of serving Savannah, offering these delicious, money-saving takeout specials.
20-piece hand-breaded chicken finger basket for only $19.75. 12 pieces fried or rotisserie chicken for only $19.75. And feed a large group quick with our 50-piece fried or rotisserie chicken for just $50.
Call ahead for faster service or order online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
Criminal defense, family law, child custody, DUI, and divorce. When so much is on the line, you need expert legal representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted the Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023 and an Avo top attorney rating of 9.7. You can count on Jonathan V. Dunn to leave no stone unturned to deliver the justice you seek. Contact 912-200-9352 or online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back here to Watch BC Sports. We apologize for some of the audio issues there in that opening segment, but we appear to have them corrected as of right now. We'll turn around and we will show you the national anthem as they get ready for the pregame. We'll come back and continue here on the Barnes Restaurant pregame show.
Let us enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and with a respect for the members of the opposing team. Please bless the players, coaches, officials, and spectators. Keep us under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help us be aware of His presence with us tonight. They might go pray for us. Our national anthem.
And tonight's national anthem, as you see the cadet color guard there on the field as we get ready for round one between the Broncos of East Forsyth and Benedictine, and the cadets come in as region champs. Christian Gokel, and again, we have the audio issues, we believe, all figured out there. So we're glad you're with us here on the Barnes Restaurant pregame show, round one of the third and final portion of the season. You get one to play one more, Christian, and that's the goal that I think every team across the state tonight has got. You give us one to play one more, and this is the special time of season because with every victory, on the other side, somebody played their last football game, and maybe for forever, for the rest of their life. So that's what makes high school football a lot of fun, but also these Friday nights, you never know. It could be over that quickly, and somebody's career is coming to an end, and you hope for that sake it's not the cadets, and we'll be here with you for 5 more weeks. So a lot to get to as far as that is concerned. But, Christian, let's look at the keys for BC. I think you come out, play a crisp ball game. You want to get Stephen Cannon going early, establish a couple of guys in the offense. I think, as we mentioned, maybe too many guys for East Forsyth to cover. As far as, and that's not being disrespectful. There's a lot of teams that BC's played this week. I think maybe Buford might have been the only one that said, hey, we got 4 DBs that can line up and play against your 4 guys, sure, and we think we can stop your run game. Not many teams can do that, and I think for BC tonight, get Stephen Cannon going early and just keep leaning on them until they're done. Yeah,
Kevin, it's interesting. BC can actually just stay with me, and I'm gonna tie this all together. But it's the meme where the guy's got the different red yarn going to the different stuff, trying to piece it together.
Right.
Minnesota plays football tonight.
Right.
Zaquan Bryan, BC legend, will be playing for Minnesota tonight, a defensive back. He's a all Big Ten kind of a player right there. They got a big game tonight. I, being myself, was watching a PJ Fleck coaching clinic video from like 2019 when he was talking about it, and he said he identified 3 things that he feels like he can give his team before a game and says, if you do this, you will win. Because we have all the old stuff that we talk about. We got to block them and tackle and score touchdowns.
Right.
That's fine. That's the goal, but how do you do that? And he said the 3 things he identified was tackles and missed tackles. So can you tackle them in the open field, and can you make them miss in the open field? Obviously turnovers, and then big plays. Who's going to have the big explosive plays over the top? And I feel like BC has been excellent at all those things this season. If there's one thing they've been a little bit shaky at, it's been tackling at times, but I feel like as the season has progressed, they've gotten a little bit better at that as it's gone. But when you look at this game, Kevin, Maxwell has this as a 35-point spread for BC over East Forsyth. When Benedictine has been the heavy favorite this year, they haven't messed around. We've seen it against Wayne County. We saw it against Warner Robins. They won those games by 50-plus points and it just kind of took away hope early. To me, that's the key tonight. Can you execute those things that you've been executing all year? You've been forcing turnovers, and you've been taking care of the football. You've been tackling in open space, and you've been making people miss in open space, and then you've had big plays offensively and defensively all year. Can you do those things consistently tonight in the playoffs? I think so. This is a team that has a lot of guys that have played a lot of playoff games. There's a senior class, won a state championship in 2022, and they've made runs the past couple of years as well. They're used to being here. Can you come out like you did against Warner Robins and against the Waynes of the world and execute, get up big early, and just take hope away? To me, that's the biggest key.
Again, defensively, I think it all starts with the guys up front. Even without Isaac Scott tonight, you are forced, and I say that in the most joking way possible, to, oh, by the way, we got Jameer Lee, who's picking up offers from Ole Miss. He's the guy that has to play because Isaac Scott is going to be out. If those guys control the line of scrimmage, they may not have to play a lot of defense tonight, right, on the BC side of the ball.
Yeah, and I know, again, you're looking at East Forsyth, and we talked about how are they going to attack. I think if you try to come out offensively and run the football between the tackles, and then you come out defensively and just try to sit back and play coverage, it's going to be a long night. So you mentioned those secondary guys like the Josh Washington. You call them secondary, but Bubba Frazier's your number 1. The Josh Washingtons of the world are the ones who, when you've covered up Bubba Frazier, that are just going to eat you alive. So I'm just curious from East Forsyth what the approach is. Like I said, you're not going to just sit there and exchange blows with BC. You got to force turnovers, and you got to be really creative on offense, and you can't have a disaster on special teams.
I've said it a lot since Danny Britt's been a coach. I've not yet really seen – Buford might have been the one,
right,
but not really seen a team go sideline to sideline and try to establish the edge on BC. They've been so good. Where they've been gashed is certain pass concepts, and if you have somebody that can run straight downhill, right up the gut. Now, that was easier when you didn't have Cam Cody in there, but even so, that has been a weak point of if you're going to beat BC, it's not going to be side to side. You got to come at a gap straight at him, and that's how you're going to try to get him. A lot of teams still can't do that, but to me, it's been so hard against a Danny Britt and Galen Housen defense. Hey, we're just going to go try to win the edge. Nope. No, you're not. They just do such a good job of winning the edge week in and week out.
And I think where East Forsyth can maybe establish that run is they've gone a little bit wildcat here in the latter part of the season. And can you get that extra body in there and you're playing 11-on-11 football? And the play that BC is very familiar with, obviously, that buck sweep where you snap it to the quarterback or you snap it to the quarterback and he hands it to the running back. But either way, you kind of get somebody going east and west at first, but they're just searching for that hole. If you could do that and do that consistently, that's the one thing we saw Warner Robbins do well against BC when they had some success, is just get you going east and west a little bit and then find the hole and hit it really, really fast. And again, can you do that over and over and over again is the question before BC adjusts. You got to hit your shots when you're there for East Forsyth, and then you got to establish some kind of running game, but you got to be creative with it.
Coming right back here on the Barnes Restaurant pregame show. This is round 1 of the state playoffs here on Watch BC Sports.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
We still got, 3 minutes? Welcome back here to the Barnes Restaurant pregame show. Kevin Thomas, Christian Gokel, as you see the swath of BC captains walking into the screen. It'll be the same 6 the rest of the way here for the cadets as we get ready. And you see BC wearing the white, gray, white. Just be prepared if you haven't seen East Forsyth yet on the screen. They are wearing white on white on white. So the only thing to distinguish anybody is going to be the grays. I think East Forsyth is also a maroonish color with the numbers. So that's what it looks like. And you'll see some of the kids walking out there with the captains. It's a Cure for Childhood Cancer Night here at the stadium here. So you've got some children representing that out there with the BC players. And Christian, you see the captains out there, Cam Cody, Stephen Cannon, Bubba Frazier, and Jalen Housen. Just how big have those 4 guys been? And then Larson Little, Josh Washington behind them have been absolutely amazing all season long for BC.
Yeah, and you want to be a senior-led team, and this is absolutely that. Guys who have played a lot of football for the cadets and guys who have scored a lot of touchdowns and made a lot of big defensive plays for BC as well, and getting ready for that run, man. This is it. You talked about it. Win or go home.
So the coin toss happening. They're talking to East Forsyth, so it appears they've probably won the coin toss. And let's see. Yeah, they're asking them to choose here. Oh, no, they just did it. I thought he was talking to him like they just did it.
Yeah, tell them which.
Yeah, they won it. They're going to defer. So you're going to put Stephen Cannon and company on the field first, Christian. So we'll get to see A.J. DePhillips start to work that magic offensively right out of the gate. And you've said, look, you're in an interesting position. A couple years ago, we said, hey, if you're Danny Britt, put the defense on the field every single time.
Right.
This team, I don't think he cares. Offense, defense, put him out there.
I think he still wants the defense out there, but
maybe deep down.
Yeah, yes, he's a safety at heart.
So the cadets have won the toss. They will run back, they will get the ball first. They're running back here to the south end zone as they will get ready for round number 1. We're glad to have you along. This has been the Barnes Restaurant pregame show celebrating 50 years of service here in the Savannah community. Barnes Restaurant. Get those 50-year specials for your next party this weekend. You want to take a quick timeout, or we're going to stay here? We'll take it up to the kickoff.
Let's stay here.
We'll take it up to the kickoff as the Broncos run on across the way. And we just await the cadets to enter the field of play. It's November. It's Georgia. It's Friday night. And it's high school football at its finest as the state playoff run will begin here for the cadets. And as Danny Britt has said, hey, it used to be when you wanted to be practicing on Thanksgiving. That's now the third round, but you still want to be practicing on Thanksgiving, getting ready to go this year to Mercedes-Benz if you are fortunate enough to make it to the state championship game.
Yeah, I mean, if we keep going the way we're going, Kevin, practicing on Thanksgiving might just be the final week of the regular season. But no, it still means something in the state of Georgia to be one of those last few teams practicing on Thanksgiving. And BC has been doing it for the past, it feels like 10 years. They're going to try to keep it going, and that journey starts here tonight.
Broncos are out on the field. They will kick it from left to right off the foot of Joni Aguilera, senior kicker here for East Forsyth. And I would imagine you'll see it's going to be, they're going to change it up deep a little bit. It's going to be, nope, there's Bubba Frazier. Bubba and Aaron Mallard. I thought for a minute they maybe put Stanley Smart back there, but Bubba and Aaron Mallard, pick your poison.
So we talked about the gamble, Kevin. Do they come out and just try to play BC straight up, or do you try to steal a few possessions here and there? And BC, I think, very situationally aware. Got 6 guys very tight towards the 45-yard line right now.
So here's Aguilera. Everybody ready to go. And the 2025 state high school football playoffs are underway, and there's a little dribbler. Just what you talk about, it's loose and picked up by Stanley Smart. He's going to take a shot out at the 25, falls ahead to the 27. Christian, great thinking there. Hey, we're going to try to catch him off guard early, and he hit a hard line or a hard ground ball right there to that second level, and it kind of got bobbled a little bit.
Yeah, and I think 2 things there. There could be a little bit of you're trying to steal a possession, but I think the other thing is you just don't want to kick it deep to Bubba Frazier and go ahead, squib it, make it a little bit awkward, and let your guys get down there to make a tackle.
So here comes Stephen Cannon and the cadet offense in those gray-white uniforms out of the flex bone to start. They'll give a little end around coming back here to the near side. That's going to be Bubba Frazier out towards the 30. Oh, no, that was not. Excuse me. They got the jerseys, all those single numbers getting tucked under. That was number 8.
Cole Henderson.
That was Cole Henderson.
Now BC going to go fast here.
They'll put trips up top here. Cannon out of a shotgun, looks near side. This is Josh Washington, caught at the 35. He'll reach ahead. That's a first down, knocked out of bounds at the 39 of BC. So a first down. BC Brothers moving the chains. First down, first one of the night here for the cadets.
Yeah, and for those of you tuning in, BC is going to play a few different styles of offense here. They can go under center, tight in that flex bone. They can go spread, shotgun here, but the thing that stays the same for the most part is the personnel.
So here's Cannon out of the shotgun, gives it on the end around. That's going to be a spin move. That's Henderson up the left side across the 50. Who kind of got bent over backwards there, but gets 12 on first down. That's another BC Brothers moving the chains first down, Christian. And right now that offense is rolling early.
Yeah, we talked about Josh Washington. It's kind of like, hey, he's the sleeper, the guy you got to watch out for when you cover everybody else. And all of a sudden, here comes Cole Henderson.
So 1st and 10 into East Forsyth territory. That's Josh Washington, and he'll have about 9 on first down to bring up 2nd down and 1. And East Forsyth playing off, and if you're going to play off, we'll just take those little turnarounds all day.
We talked about it, and there's a couple different ways you try to slow down a really good offense. Either A, you play bend but don't break, which is what feels like they're doing right now, or B, you just send the house and hope they make a mistake. And right now, East Forsyth choosing to play that bend but don't break off coverage and just trying to get up and tackle, with BC kind of strolling down the field right now.
They got Stanley Smart up top of the formation. That's Bubba next, and somebody moved. They had Bubba in the backfield that time.
Yeah, BC had to swap an offensive lineman that time, and then you kind of change personnel a little bit, send a tight end in motion. It took a long time. That's a long time for those offensive linemen to be down in their stances. So a little funky there, but BC looking pretty efficient outside of that on this opening drive.
So it'll be 1st and 15 here for the cadets. Here's the snap. They'll throw it out. Josh Washington again, and he'll get hung up, but not before He has about 8 yards there. Man, maybe more than that. Got about 10. It's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. Christian Gokel. And again, they're just going to let him have that underneath stuff all night.
Well, hopefully, if I'm East Forsyth, hopefully not all night. But for BC, you're just wondering, when do you adjust? When do they come up and play press coverage, and then you can take that shot over the top?
Cadets go back to 4 wide. They take Conaway, the tight end, off. Here's the snap cannon. He'll just fling it out in the flat. This is going to be Bubba Frazier off the right side. Bubba gets tripped up. A nice tackle out there by Kellen Moran. He's going to be about a yard short. It'll be third. They're going to mark him back towards the 30, so it'll be about 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Bubba Frazier, number 4, the Notre Dame commit for the Cadets, and everybody in the stadium holds their breath anytime he has his hands on the football, and that's a great open field tackle. That's one of the keys that we talked about, Kevin. Got to tackle in space.
BC goes flex bone. They'll come straight ahead with Stanley Smart. That'll be a first down. BC brothers moving the chains, first down. And that's the 3rd on this drive.
Oh, you're going to pick up a lot of first downs if a defense is playing soft coverage. BC has gotten kind of used to those 1 or 2 play drives. Looks like East Forsyth is going to make them work for it.
This is going to be an offset I formation with Cannon going under center. Here's the snap. They'll blow it dead. I think East Forsyth wasn't ready for it. They're going to take a timeout, I believe. Nope.
Is that official timeout?
Official. Maybe somebody lost a helmet, made him come off. He was
sometimes, because his helmet's still on and they're taking him to the tent. Sometimes that could be blood. Any kind of exposed wound or bleeding, they send you off and make that get treated.
So 1st and 10 after it was blown dead by the official. They'll toss it here to the near side, and there's 15-10, making him in miss. That's Bubba Frazier, touchdown. Want to make sure 4 or 5, but it looked like Bubba Frazier for the touchdown. It was. So Bubba Frazier gets the scoring started early, and BC up 6-0. Just like that, Christian, they go 64 yards right down the field and score.
Yeah, and again, East Forsyth making BC work for all of it, but that time you miss a few tackles, and Bubba Frazier shows why he's Bubba Frazier. Big touchdown there out of the I formation.
74 yards. I apologize. Point after for Parker Lewis is up, and it is good. Right on schedule. BC goes right down the field. They lead at 7-0. This is Cadets football presented by Cash and Carry here at Watch BC Sports.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at bowtiebbq.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets go down the field nice and easy, just like the butter on the rolls there at Barnes Restaurant. I mean, it was just no resistance. As you said, Christian, you can't play soft coverage against this BC team. And
again, hopefully for East Forsyth and their staff, they look at that and say, okay, cool, that didn't work. Let's try something else, because if you keep doing that, I think the results are going to be the same all night.
So here's John Brenton to kick it off from right to left. He'll directional kick it up the right side. It's going to come down about the 10. And out across the 15-20. Oh, still on his feet up the left side and pushed out of bounds at the 40. So great field position upcoming here for the Broncos of East Forsyth. And kick coverage again for BC. They kind of had him bottled up, broke through on the outside, got about 15 extra yards on that return.
Yeah, special teams plays are big, and for East Forsyth, if nothing else, you've already set yourself up in plus situation. If you go 3 and out, you can punt, put BC back behind the stick. So, I mean, you gotta wrap up and tackle an open space right there if you're BC, and just stay in your lanes, and I'm sure that's something to look at on huddle and coach that up.
So 1st and 10 here for the Broncos. And they'll double stack some tight ends over to the left side. Inside give, stacked up, that goes nowhere. Chase Rhodes, the quarterback for East Forsyth. And the handoff to Brooks Smallwood.
Yeah, it looked like Larson Little got there and cleaned that up, but just a nice job. Jameer Lee getting the start for Isaac Scott tonight. Isaac out with an injury, so Jameer Lee, the sophomore, I think first career start here, but he's played a lot of football, and they ran right at him on the first play.
Similar formation here for the Broncos. They'll take the snap. They'll give it to Smallwood off the left side again. He'll try to turn the corner and gets met close to a first down out at the 49-yard line. Let's see the near side official coming up at the 50, and they're going to give him the first down. So second effort there, but the safety's flying down as BC flies to the ball, but not before he picks up the first down.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of the shotgun, but it's wing T football right now, and that's just kitchen sink, student body left right there. A bunch of pulling guards and getting some tight ends out in space blocking. It's a great first down there.
They'll put the 2 tight ends here to the near side this time, and they'll give it straight ahead. This is going to be Jackson Norman, and he'll get 2 or 3 straight up the gut.
Yeah, got to stretch that out for like 1 or 2 more yards, and then you're right on schedule, but kind of call that one a push right there. You see the approach here so far for East Forsyth. Nice and methodical, running the football and probably trying to limit how many possessions BC gets, just shorten the game, shorten how many times an explosive offense can go on the field.
Yeah, Gavin Smith with the tackle this last time for the Cadets. Cadets really rotating around the defensive front. High snap going to be given. This is Norman off the left side. BC in pursuit, and they're late getting there, out of bounds. That's a first down. And that time, Christian, you see a team that's kind of adept at running this. You had a lot of gray shirts chasing, and chasing means you're late. And another first down there for the Broncos.
Yeah, 2 sequences in a row. They run up the middle, and then they run off tackle. First play up the middle, second play off tackle, and both times it's been enough to pick up a first down. Got to stay disciplined on that right side for BC. Right now, you're getting kind of caved in a little bit. It's not going to be a fun, glamorous night. You just got to stick your nose in there, do your job, and set the edge.
So here's the snap to Rhodes. We'll see what they do. They'll go straight ahead with Smallwood, and that time maybe a yard or 2 down to the 35.
And if you're East Forsyth, you're just kind of hoping that you can kind of wear down BC. You're going right at their knees, pushing them, hit them in the face every single snap. Can you start to wear them down a little bit? And all of a sudden, those 2-yard runs turn into 7, 8, 9-yard runs.
And Camp Cody Larson Little in on the tackle for the Cadets. And again, Christian, this has been nothing fancy. Same formation, 2 off tight ends. And then you're going to give it. Quarterback going to keep it this time off the left side, and he'll have a first down. That really was student body left. Everybody but one wide receiver went that direction. He just stayed behind him and got the first down.
That is great play calling right now, and we talked about it. It's the same sequence 3 times in a row. Run up the middle, and then the next play is off tackle for a first down, and they're just chipping their way down the field right now against this BC defense.
And it's the same side of the field, too. They are running away from LaDamian Guyton.
Again, you already see hands on the hips for BC's front 7.
Kind of testing Gavin Smith, Jameer Lee a little bit. Here is Rhodes out of a shot. Oh, somebody moved. That was Cam Cody. Was he drawn off, or did he just?
Oh, yeah, it was a hard count. And, again, even hitting the mouth 6 plays in a row, you're trying to get any advantage you can, try to jump a little bit. And that time, great job by the center and the quarterback on the hard count. Now you're ahead of schedule. You got all the eyes in the backfield. Is this when you take a shot? Big play action, little tight end leak, something like that?
Well, they have just one receiver in the formation. Everybody else is in tight. Here's the snap. It's coming near side. BC a better job of bottling that up. It's going to go for no gain. And a lot of gray shirts in there on the tackle, but Larson Little coming off the bottom of that pile.
Yeah. And I say this with the utmost love in my heart. This is the same formation that every kid who played Pop Warner ran from about the time you were 7 or 8 years old till you were 12, and they actually started installing the spread offense and whatever your high school was running. But these guys right here have very simple jobs. Go up, smack somebody in the mouth, and then for the running back, just hit the hole as hard as you can and hope for a good result.
Now no wide receiver and very unbalanced.
Awesome.
Here to the left. This is just straight downhill, and somebody.
And that's what you cannot do in this style of offense.
Yeah, false start by East Forsyth. They got Norman in running the kind of wildcat situation. And now they'll put Chase Rhodes back in there to run it. If you're BC, that's what you got to do. Put them in a passing. For a team that's come out and not run more than one, at the most 2 wide receivers here, you got to make them throw the football.
Well, I got to feel like right now with the way the score is and kind of what you're banking on with your offense, you're probably still in a 3-down territory right here to go ahead and pick it up.
They'll heavy formation to the right with those two wide receivers. Here's Rhodes. He'll throw for the first time. Lets one go, and too strong, out of bounds. BC had kind of zone coverage there with Mackay underneath and Jonathan Black playing behind the receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, now you are where you really don't want to be, which is 3rd and long against a ferocious pass rush. You got LaDamian Guyton, number 3, 5-star, number 1 defensive end in this class, committed to Texas Tech. Cam Cody, big number 55 in the middle, defensive tackle, committed to Clemson. Guys that know how to get after the quarterback.
So 3rd and 11 here for East Forsyth. They'll check back.
Yeah, you see very wide split right now from Guyton. He's the one in that 2-point stance.
Here's Rhodes looking. He'll throw it over the middle. Nice coverage. Jonathan, you got to be kidding me. The back official.
My goodness.
The official back in the end of the end zone threw that on Jonathan Black. And even Danny Britt's going, how did you see it way over there?
It's not just that. It's just that's a perfectly defended pass right there. Your guy got there at the same time as the football, got his hand on the ball and dislodged it. Really didn't make a ton of contact with the man himself. That's not a wonderful call right there.
I think Danny Britt's asking the near side guy, how did you not call it?
Yeah.
And you were the closest guy to the play, and a guy 25 yards away from it threw the flag.
I'll say this drive has really kind of drained the energy out of the stadium. It's been a wonderful opening drive for East Forsyth.
So here's Rhodes. They'll give it to Smallwood off the left side and flying through there and making the tackle. I believe that's Houston, who has really played well this year and become kind of the emotional leader of the defense.
Yeah, the son of the defensive coordinator, and he's a guy who's extremely athletic, and he's a guy who's going to hit you hard, but had to kind of learn how to play that position, and he's gotten so much more comfortable playing that other inside linebacker next to Larson Little. He's a big-time player, I think a college football player, and that time just had his eyes in the backfield, hit the gap, made a tackle.
So now 2nd and 14, exactly where you want him, Christian. As Rhodes in a shotgun, he'll take the snap, he'll roll here to the near side, pump fake, throw underneath, caught, and a nice open field tackle, picks him up, dumps him down, and that was made by Mackay Williams.
That's a good job by your safety, kind of sticking with the tight end right there, and again, right there, and then again, another situation, you're behind the chains, obvious passing situation. Do you throw another one up and just, hopefully we get another pass interference?
It is a strategy. Now they'll go pistol here.
And, Kevin, I'm looking at 16 in the slot right there. That's a height mismatch if nothing else.
Here's Rhodes. They'll throw underneath. They went right there to Norman. And
another flag comes in, Kevin.
BC snuffed that one out. That was Houston again. Got a couple of the Broncos saying it's going to be on BC.
Only thing I could think is holding, not letting an offensive lineman release.
Still waiting for the official call there. Again, it was just a little underneath screen.
Yeah, tunnel screen. BC was in man, so they were able to defend it well.
They're going to wave it off. So this is going to be 4th down and 14.
I'm wondering, Kevin, and again, you don't have microphones with these refs, but I'm wondering, Kevin, if that was a call for an ineligible man downfield, but the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So
he only ended up with a yard, and that was on the lean forward. They're going to go for this.
Yeah, I think so.
Are they going to run on the kicker? Yep, they're going to run it on late here.
Okay.
Looks like Rhodes is going to hold it down. This is for Aguilera. And this would be a 33-yarder just off the right hash. BC has blocked a couple of kicks. Here's the snap. Nice job by Rhodes. Aguilera is going to put it up, and it missed here to the near side.
That's heartbreaking if you're East Forsyth. It's such a good opening drive, and to come away empty right there really hurts. And I think it kind of sets a little bit of a tone, too, where the defense, you're like, man, that kind of just went right down the field on us. And then offense, you do have a really good opening drive. To come up empty right there, that hurts.
So now, if you're BC, put this one in the end zone.
And I'm curious, does East Forsyth change kind of their approach here? I just don't feel like they have the guys, or they feel like they have the guys to really run with BC and man.
We'll come out with 3 wides in the formation. Cannon will motion it back. He's got one either side. Here's the snap. They'll give it near side, and that's Mallard trying to break free, and then it's going to get dumped back at the 15-yard line. And that one was blown up from the word hike there, Christian.
Yeah, you're trying to run a pin and pull, and either somebody didn't pin or somebody didn't pull because the defensive tackle just came completely free right there. And for the Cadets, that's just a miss and puts you behind the sticks there. And I'm wondering, Kevin, a little bit now, it's not an all-out blitz, but you got some stunts coming now and some slants from this front.
2nd and 12 here, and they'll adjust across that defensive front. Cannon on a straight drop. Stevens got some time. Now he'll tuck it. Looks to be outside, and he's going to be brought down back at the 6-yard line. They give him forward progress, and Cadets going the wrong way. Knox Allen, the senior, comes up from his linebacker spot and draws the sack on Stephen Cannon.
Yeah, well, where soft coverage does work is when you have the team in 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, obvious passing situation. That one's a coverage sack right there. Just nobody open, downfield early. Stephen Cannon breaks out of the pocket, then a nice job on the boundary from East Forsyth coming up and tackling a very athletic quarterback.
Cadets will put 4 wide out there on 3rd and forever. They need the 30-yard line. Here's the snap to Cannon. Looking, Steven, they'll throw an underneath screen of their own. It's caught, working here to the near side, and going to be brought down shy of the 20. That pass was caught by Bubba Frazier, and BC going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, huge series right there for East Forsyth. Great job getting off the field. They're 3 and out, and it really started on that first down play, getting BC in negative territory. And now you have their punter, also quarterback, but punter Stephen Cannon punting out of the end zone.
And it will be Trent Polk, senior, back at midfield for the Broncos. Here's Cannon. Gets it off. It's a high wobbler. Going to be let hit, and it's going to roll. So a fortunate, Stephen Cannon going to get a nice roll. Still going, all the way to the 35-yard line. What a punt in the roll. And we hear Danny Britt talk about that a lot on special teams. Every punt not caught is going to be worth 15 more yards. That one hit at the 45 of BC. It's back at the 35 of East Forsyth.
To be fair to the punt returner, it was kind of a knuckleball off of Stephen Cannon's foot, but still, you got to trust that you can receive those. Fly up there, throw a fair catch. Know they can't hit you. And that cost your team, like you said, a 1st down and a half.
So right back to the hands of the Broncos here at their own 35. Here's Rhodes. He'll keep it himself. He'll go student body left, and the student body left him. And brought down by Houston. And I think Larson Little and a couple others were there to help clean it up.
Yeah, BC saw that about 3 times in a row on the pass drive. They said, okay, that's enough. What else you got? Again, just the way this offense is executing, 2nd and 15 is not where you want to live. That's where no offense wants to live, but when you're running this style, you cannot get behind the sticks.
So they'll move to a 2 wide receiver set here on 2nd and 15. Here's the snap. Rhodes looking underneath screen, going to be caught, and coming back near side, is going to break a tackle. That's going to be a 1st down, shoved out by Jonathan Black on the far sideline. Not Jonathan Black, that was Estabrook, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a great job of play design right there. It looked like a tunnel screen coming underneath down the middle of the field, but they actually set it up and released the blockers towards the sideline, and a good job by the receiver following those blockers. Good play call, big 1st down, and again, if nothing else, you kind of flip field position again. And BC has only been on the field twice in the 1st quarter.
And again, East Forsyth in no hurry. They're taking their time each and every play here. As you said, rightfully so, trying to shorten the game as they stay out of that shotgun. Everybody tight, 1 wide receiver. They'll motion Norman out. Rhodes looking, he'll throw back. A nice slant, going to be caught and dropped. That was Wyatt Estabrook delivering the hit. And again, just simple route concepts here, Christian. A quick slant, the underneath screen they've thrown a couple of times. Haven't really tried to test BC down the field too much.
That's a good route concept, too, there. You kind of have a clear out route from the slot guy, and then you bring your boundary receiver in on a slant route, and the timing was good. Just the problem is Wyatt Estabrook has seen about every kind of route concept you can throw at him. The senior safety right there knew where he was supposed to be, got up there, made a big hit, and was able to dislodge the football. Obviously, we don't have the benefit of replay, but I wonder if that was a fumble.
Rhodes on 2nd and 10. They'll give it to Smallwood off the left side. Flag comes in. Oh, my goodness. That was a LaDamian Guyton. I got you, and I'm going to throw you.
Yeah.
That wasn't a tackle.
That was a get him out the club.
Hands to the face against BC.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously called it on one of those.
I was going to say, where they threw that, it was either a hold or a hands to the face. And unfortunately for BC, that's a 15-yard penalty against the defense.
We have seen cadets make some of those adjustments to where it's, hey, we're going student body this direction, and they really like to work that left side.
And penalties, man, keeping East Forsyth alive right now.
I'll be interested to see if East Forsyth, the Broncos, snap that here. They got now inside 10 seconds to go in the quarter. I'm guessing only down 7-0. They'll go to the second quarter. We'll step aside. 7-0. This is Cadet Football presented by Cash and Carry.
Want to make some extra cash just by sitting on your couch? At Cash and Carry in Savannah, Georgia, we buy any car, no matter the condition, and take it right off the road. Just visit the link, enter your car details, and get an instant offer. Cash and Carry, turning cars into cash without leaving your couch.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets lead at 7-0. And again, haven't had to have the offense on the field very much, and give the Broncos credit. They're holding it and playing keep away.
I was going to say, talk about shortening a football game. That first quarter, Kevin, 21 minutes of real world time to play a 12-minute football quarter. And that thing flew by.
And again, this is one of those things you've seen it before with the Maris and others. It's fine as long as you're ahead. You ever get behind and they just hold it, that's when you start to panic a little bit and say, 1, 2, or how many more times we're going to get this football? But
and
BC,
we got to get the state champion shooting team off the field. We got some football to play, fellas. Congratulations.
So this will be 1st and 10 for East Forsyth to start the second quarter. And again, it's not been smoke and mirrors. It's been coming right at you here for the Broncos. Here's the snap. They'll give it straight ahead. This is Norman. Cadets read that nicely, maybe a half a yard. That was the Cam Cody special there on the inside.
Well, I'll say this. It's kind of like a kickoff almost where you got to stay in your lane, stay in your assignment right there, because BC is doing a good job of flying to the football, but you got to hit the gap that you're responsible for, because if you have 10 hats around the football and all of a sudden somebody blows an assignment, you got a running back sprinting towards the end zone with nobody around him. So BC just got to make sure they keep their eyes where they're supposed to be and take the correct steps.
Here is the snap. The quarterback's going to keep it Rhodes. Oh, he ran into the big mitts of Cam Cody.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
Well, we saw that play a ton against Warner Robins, and they executed it well and kind of gutted BC a few times, but that time you see the adjustment. You have the strong side linebacker run with the motion man, and then Cam Cody kind of cancels out a lot of things, but the big Clemson defensive tackle right there, able to shuck his guy and get there and make a tackle. You're reading him, but I think he had eyes just for the quarterback.
3rd and 10 here for the Broncos. Rhodes going to look back to his right, throw it underneath, and it's somehow caught, and that's going to be a first down. A nice grab by Jet Staley. And Wyatt Estabrook had a hand there. It was just a millisecond late, and then he just spun out of it and got a first down.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a perfectly placed and perfectly timed football. That's exactly what that was. Quarterback hit his 3-step drop. Football was out of his hands, and the receiver did a really nice job of kind of bodying Wyatt and kind of boxing him out like basketball. Great throw, perfectly placed, on time, and a great job by the receiver making the catch, spinning upfield for some extra yards. Kevin, you don't make the playoffs at 6-4 by accident. It's a good football team.
So here's a high snap. Rose going to give it inside. Cadets there to snuff that out after a gain of about 2 on the handoff to Smallwood. And it'll bring up second down at about 7.
I think they're going to mark it even shorter than that.
Oh, they only got a yard. It looked like at first they ran a little farther in. So make it 2nd and 9.
And that is a good job by BC because it's kind of an emotional letdown. They pick up the first down on a 3rd and long right there, and then they kind of try to gut you on the next play. That's a good gut check right there from BC, sticking in, playing their assignments, and wrapping up.
So everybody in tight now here on 2nd and 9. They'll motion a tight end over. Rhodes going to give it to Norman. Oh, and going nowhere, and that was Mr. Little saying, I don't think so. Larson Little just came shooting through the gap, and that thing was over before it got started.
Yeah, there's some drills that you do early in the season, Kevin, where you kind of set out the pad on the ground or if you got planks of wood, whatever it is, make your gap control, and you're kind of simulating that. That was literally out of spring practice right there. Larson hit the hole, full head of steam, wrapped up, made the tackle. That was picture-perfect execution from your inside linebacker.
Now 3rd and 14 for the Broncos. And now an empty set. Oh, they tried to get BC to jump. They got back. First empty set we've seen from
Well, in
East
high school,
Forsyth.
if you get in the neutral zone, it should be a penalty, but I guess he didn't.
So here's Rhodes. He'll throw it up, and that was about a 70-30 ball. I think that was just kind of lobbed up there, incomplete.
And honestly, I think that was more pass interference than the one that they called pass interference. But if they're going to say anything, I think it's that, hey, he's kind of entitled to his space. You threw it towards him and over him.
And now an interesting call. They missed the field goal last time. Are they going to kick it? Looks like they're trotting on some offensive players. They might go for this. It's 4th and 13. They need to get
inside. Or is
it
a different kicker?
Oh, it is a different kicker. You're right. I'm sorry. So that's what got me. This will be A.J. Bruce, a sophomore from the right hash, 32-yarder. Or no, excuse me. And he missed it. What happened? False start against East Forsyth. That would have been a 37-yarder, excuse me. And so that'll back it up, and now it'll be a 42-yarder if they elect to kick it.
No, you try to kick it when that one was way wide to the right. Do you punt and try to pin BC and send your defense back out there, or you just throw a Hail Mary? It looks like they're going to try it.
They're going to try it again. This will be a 42-yarder from the right hash. Young sophomore kicker for the Broncos. The snap, the kick by Bruce is up. It's got distance, and it is no good.
Wide right.
So East Forsyth has had the ball for about seemingly 10 minutes here in this first half, and they got nothing to show for it.
If nothing else, Kevin, you've flipped the field position again, and your defense has had some time to sit on the sideline and rest. And BC's offense, so in rhythm on that first drive, got behind the sticks last time out. Can they keep the change rolling here?
So 1st and 10, they go empty backfield for Stephen Cannon here on first down. They'll give it on the end around, coming here near side, and breaking a tackle. Stanley Smart across the 30, but that's enough for a first down. And call up BC Brothers moving. They're moving the chains here on this drive.
Yeah, I got a man down for East Forsyth, but that time for the Cadets, really good job of getting out in space and lead blocking from some skill guys there. And again, if you're going to play that off coverage, you're going to leave the flats kind of vulnerable. It kind of feels like what BC's attacking right now.
We'll step aside while they tend to that young man. This is Cadet Football, presented by Cash and Carry.
Welcome to Sandnat Golf Carts, where luxury meets quality. We offer a wide selection of top-notch custom golf carts to suit your every need. With our extensive inventory, you're sure to find the ride of your dreams. Plus, our flexible financing options make it easier than ever to drive one off the lot today. Whether you're cruising the neighborhood or joyriding with the family, Sandnat Golf Carts is here to provide exceptional service every step of the way. Visit us today to elevate your ride.
The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine.
That was Jake Adamson down for East Forsyth, sophomore. And he is up and walking off under his own power. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Cadets out across their 30 to the 32. And really important for nothing else, just to let that defense chill for a second. A couple of long drives.
The first down's your number one goal. You pick that up on the first play. Good chance for the defense to get in there, look at the huddle, and catch their breath a little bit.
So 1st and 10, they bring a blitz. They pick it up and thrown a little low. Had Mallard coming open. He was in a little hole in the zone there and threw it down around the knees.
Yeah, I don't know if Steven thought he was going to flatten that one out or he just pulled the string on it, but if he hits Mallard, he's still running right there. Good play call, good design, but just a little out of rhythm. You like the recognition, though, because that's zone coverage. Steven Cannon kind of found the gap.
So 2nd and 10. They'll put Frazier in motion and counter back here with Smart. Smart going to cut back inside, and good recognition by East Forsyth. They'll tie him up, and maybe a yard on the play for Stanley.
Yeah, good disciplined defense right there. Didn't fall for the counter. And again, they're slanting really hard, and it's kind of a guessing game. It's very similar to what Perry did. And you're doing a good job coaching if you go back and watch all the tape and see what worked against an offense and what worked against a defense. You already saw, kind of took a play out of Warner Robins' playbook offensively. Now, very reminiscent to Perry, slanting that defensive line a lot.
So 3rd down and 9. That's Mallard in motion. Cannon going to have to tuck it and break down on the offensive line. He's going to take a sack back at the 25, and that'll make it 4th and 18. And you can see the energy pick up on that East Forsyth sideline. That's back-to-back drives where the Cadets really haven't done much.
It's a very well-coached football team. At that time, they didn't get undisciplined in their pass rush. Steven Cannon didn't have his first or second read there, tried to come back and run it, but the pass rush collapsed the pocket, kind of pulled the string, and was able to sack Steven Cannon for the 2nd time tonight.
So this will be a punt by Steven Cannon. Gets off a much better punt this time. Going to be shorter, but it's still going to hit. Oh, it's going to check up. And it'll be touched up at the 49 of East Forsyth. So, again, offense kind of stalled out a little bit that time, and your defense right back out there right near midfield.
Yeah, I'm just watching the game clock take 11 more seconds off after that. But, yeah, I mean, that's 2 big stops in a row after a very easy opening drive for BC. And I think the adjustment, Kevin, has been on 1st, 2nd down. They're kind of playing a guessing game, slanting to where they think the football is going, and it's paid off a few times. But now you're 0 for 2. Once you get inside of BC's territory, you got to start putting some points on the board.
So here, the Broncos right at midfield. And again, the Cadets have let them move it between the 20s.
Yeah, but give BC credit. Yeah. When it's become that time to really kind of clamp down, they've done a great job of creating negative plays.
This is a straight-ahead give. That's a 1st down. They give it to Jackson Newman, and he'll get 11 on 1st down and move the chains.
Yeah, again, another kind of wrinkle there. Guy who thinks lined up as a tight end, they hand the football to him, and that's just a straight ISO play downhill. And BC's defense has been on the field for a long time in this first half.
And again, give the Broncos credit to this point. They've played it the way you need to play it. 1st and 10. Rhodes will give it to Smallwood this time. Smallwood straight ahead, and that's Houston going to ride the back, but not before he gets 8 yards. And another big gain on 1st down.
And it goes back to what we talk about. It's fine if you collapse the line of scrimmage, but if you don't have somebody in the correct gap, they're going to pick up big chunks. And you saw that on 1st down last time, and another 1st down right there. Big yardage. Set you up in 2nd and plus situation here, but BC not staying disciplined right now on that 2nd level.
So 2nd down, they'll call it about 2, maybe a long 2. They need to get just inside the 30-yard line.
The clock just bleeding.
So here's the snap. They'll give it to Newman. He'll go straight ahead, wrapped up, and then he'll move the stack, keep moving the stack, and brought down. He'll have a 1st down. He and Cam Cody got in a squabble there. Jameer Lee ends up finishing up the play. But you're right, Christian, they're in no hurry. And they've just taken this game to a snail's pace.
If you're BC's offense, it kind of starts to give you anxiety a little bit because you're like, man, I don't know how many more times we're going to have the football. But that first touchdown looming large here for the Cadets.
One wide receiver here for the Broncos. Rhodes will give it to Smallwood. He tried to hop in the hole and hop right into the hands of Cam Cody.
I think Gavin Smith got there too, and that's a better job of, instead of trying to shoot into the backfield, of just sticking your man, creating a pile, and then kind of shucking them and getting down the line. That was Gavin Smith doing a great job, and like you said, Cam Cody right at the point of attack, creating a pile.
So 2nd down and 11 here for the Broncos. And now they'll check back.
But I mean, if you're BC, you're looking at this and saying, hey, if we don't get off the field in this series, we're probably not going to get the football back in the first half.
Here's a give. This is Newman. He'll plow straight ahead. Keep going. Second effort, still on his feet before he's finally brought down at the 16, and that's a first down. Mekhi Williams had to finish it up there on the back end, and he's running hard as Newman didn't get the weights on these guys,
right.
But Newman's kind of like
a big dude, yeah.
Kind of like a tight end playing one of those running back spots.
Yeah, he's a big guy and strong. He's kind of lanky, long, a lot of muscle on that frame. And again, Kevin, he's just keeping the yards going after that first contact, which is huge. But now a chance to really milk this clock here, and they've got a chance to go 2 for 1 because they get the ball to start the second half.
So here's Rhodes. Cadets have creeped a couple of guys up there closer to the line of scrimmage.
And a nice job. Use that play clock.
So here's the snap to give straight ahead. This is going to be Newman again, and he'll be brought down just inside the 15 at the 14. So give him a couple on first down. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.
And they'll snap this one inside of 3 minutes to go in the half. Excellent drive.
Clock continues to wind here in the second quarter. And if you're BC in a game like this is, like you said, you really would like to put more points up so you don't start in your head mentally going, this is a possession game.
Yeah.
How many more chances are we going to get?
Correct.
So here's the snap. This is going to be Smallwood coming to the near sideline, missed tackle, and he'll hit the corner and get in for a touchdown.
Oh, they're going to mark him short. Oh, no, there you go. Up the middle, up the middle, up the middle, and then you collapse that side of the line of scrimmage, and just huge drive there from East Forsyth, executed perfectly, and now they're going to go with the swinging gate, it looks like.
They've got Aguilera back in there for the point after. And a quiet home side here, Christian. I don't think a lot of people thought it would be 7-7 with 2.5 minutes.
Well, Kevin Maxwell
to go.
said BC was going to win this football game by 35 points.
Well, you don't play them on a computer, and it's 7-7. Getting late here in the first half. This is Benedictine football presented by Cash and Carry.
Dead or alive, we want your car. No matter the condition, running smooth or barely rolling, Cash and Carry in Savannah will buy it right off the road. Visit us now, get your instant offer, and turn that ride into cash today. We buy cars, any condition.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets and Broncos all tied up at 7, and now's when you need that 2-minute drill. Although the last couple of times out, offensive line has broken down a little bit, got BC behind the chains. Here's Aguilera. He'll line drive another one. It's going to take a hop and a skip and be picked up on the far sideline, and still spinning on his feet, making a man miss. If he can keep his balance, is Aaron Mallard. He'll get out to the 32, and that's where BC will take over with 2:34 to go.
Yeah. And you've got plenty of time here to put some points on the board if you are BC. And, again, obviously, quick strike offense that you have. Just got to come out and execute. Last couple drives, you got into obvious passing situations, and they did a good job with your pass rush. Stay balanced here. Plenty of time to run your full offense.
So 1st and 10. Here's a snap from Cannon, looking near side, in and out of the hands of Bubba Frazier. And it'll bring up second down and 10.
And again, they're just giving them the stuff underneath and letting BC make the mistakes. And right now, BC not executing at a very high level. They've had some drop passes, some misfires from Steven. And again, just the way you've been executing, it feels like you've gotten away from the run game a little bit too.
They'll go to the flex bone look here with just one wide receiver. Here's the snap. They'll look, throw it over the middle, and it's going to be caught. Nicely done.
Don't know how he held on to that.
That is Aaron Mallard out at midfield, and BC Brothers moving the chains, first down. He took a shot as soon as he caught it.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you're Steve and you're like, hey, brother, I appreciate you.
And Cadets will go no huddle. Snap on first down. Cannon quick out is going to be caught by Bubba Frazier, but just a couple of yards.
Again, I feel like he's playing a little tight right now with Steven Cannon. Just got to cut it loose.
Trips here to the small side, and Carlton Hall got a little front heavy there and jump. That'll back the Cadets up behind, or put them back at the original, maybe a yard behind the sticks. It'll be 2nd and 11, but back in their own territory.
And for these guys, obviously a special moment, especially for the seniors, but a guy like Steven Cannon, who was hurt at this time last year, how much more does this mean to him, his chance of senior season as a starting quarterback?
So 2nd and 11, looking, Cannon going to be flushed and going to try to create, just throw it away, throws it up and out of bounds. I think a lot of folks are saying it's broke down, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, I think he was doing a good job of not getting an intentional grounding right there. I think he was trying to find the stick so he could get it open over the sticks. He was obviously outside the tackle box, but good job there by Steven avoiding the rush. And that's one of the benefits of being at home. When the entire home side goes up, that usually means either A, someone's running wide open, or B, you got an unblocked defender coming at you. And I don't know how he didn't get sacked right there, but fortunately for BC, just 3rd and 11 here.
So a big play in this ball game late in the second quarter. Here's Cannon looking, going to step up in the pocket, strikes, delivers, throws. That's going to be a first down. Caught Bubba Frazier down at the Bronco 38-yard line. BC Brothers moving the chains. First down and a 13-yard hookup.
Yeah, and that's got to be a confidence builder for Steven right there. Nice throw. Good job by Bubba coming back, but they just rushed 3, and then they had 2 spies for Steven waiting for him when he stepped up. Nice job by his receiver coming back to help him out.
Empty set here on first down. Cannon all kinds of time. Looking. And she's going to tuck it and go. Cannon towards the near sideline. I think if he cut it back towards the middle of the field, maybe had 7, 8, 9 more yards, even time to slide.
Yeah.
But as it is a gain of 8 on first down, it'll be 2nd and short.
And again, they go cover 8 that time, just rush 3, no spy that time, and Steven takes advantage of it. They said, early in the game, you're okay with your quarterback not taking that hit. Go ahead, get out of bounds.
So twins either side. Here's Steven, quick out, going to be caught and knocked out of bounds. Pitch and catch, that's Cole Henderson. And
nice.
move the chains.
Little bench route right there. You have a clear out, kind of flag route from the slot, and then he come underneath with Cole Henderson right there on the 5-yard out. Good timing route right there and a good pass from Steven. I think at this point, Kevin, you're probably in Parker Lewis territory or bordering on it.
Yeah, got to be getting close. Here's the snap. Cannon looking. Faces a rush, throws it away. Nope, caught right there at the sideline. I lost track of Cole Henderson over there, and he just tippy-toed over there and is going to be just short of a first down down at the 18. He needed the 17.
All right, you cover Josh Washington, you cover Aaron Mallard, you cover Bubba Frazier, you take care of Stanley Smart in the backfield, and all of a sudden this guy named Cole Henderson starts making plays. This BC offense.
Somebody moved for the Cadets.
I think it was the quarterback and the center were on one page, and the other 9 guys were on the another page.
So you go from 2nd and 2 to 2nd and 7. Or 2nd and 1, rather, to 2nd and 6. They'll empty out. Nope, they'll put Stanley Smart to the right this time of Cannon. Stevens got time. Over the middle, that's got to be pass interference. They hit Bubba Frazier on the route. Look at Danny Britt losing his mind. They hit Bubba Frazier in the back,
Kevin,
before the ball got there.
I'm a defensive back.
That was
he was already there. Bubba ran into him. And I think if Steven looks back at that one, if he comes off of Bubba and looks down the middle, he had a man running wide open at the post because they had eyes for Bubba Frazier. But I think that was fine coverage.
So 3rd down. You're the only one in the stadium not on this side that thinks that, I think. Here's the snap. Cannon got a free rusher off the edge. Steven going to have to scramble and just throw it out of bounds.
I don't know how he threw that football away.
And that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, BC with some stuff to address because that's another free rusher right there from that side.
They're going to trot on the field goal unit, Parker Lewis.
That's a great hold there from East Forsyth.
This will be a 39-yarder off the right hash. Yeah, these points right here would be huge for BC. Here's the snap, the kick by Lewis. It is up, and it is no good. He missed it off to the right. So the Cadets drive stalls out. And now with 40 seconds, you look at the far sideline, Christian, I think the Broncos, starting from their own 20, might just be content to say, hey, we're getting the ball. Let's not do something stupid here before the half and just take the second half kickoff.
I think it can go one of two ways is Danny Britt can say, all right, this has been a clunky first half. Let's get in. The other side of it is you got 3 timeouts. If you can stop them here on first down, I think that'll probably kind of dictate which way both of these teams are going. If BC gets a stop for no gain or negative yardage, you probably see a timeout from Danny Britt. Same thing for East Forsyth. If they're able to pick up some yardage here on first down, do they maybe start calling timeouts?
So 1st and 10 here for the Broncos. And a high snap going to be given to Newman, and Cadets going to snuff that out. And
I think both
they are looking
content.
back. Danny Britt not calling timeout. And it's going to be the game of adjustments. What can you kind of inspire your team with here at the half? I think all things considered, defense has played well. They've just been on the field so long.
And yeah, I mean, you take a step back and you've given up 7 points there in the first half. The problem is when they've had the football, they've just been chewing clock away. You had 4 drives in the first half. 2 of them were 3 and outs. You scored on your first drive, and that last one, you come up empty. So for BC, I don't know if it's adjustments so much as it is just got to execute when you're on the field.
Yeah, they'll take it to the half. It's 7-7. Anybody's ball game, and the clock just milking away. So we'll come back. We've got the Bernard Williams halftime report. We are tied up at halftime. This is Cadet Football on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
As the world's largest lifestyle retailer of recreational boats and yachts, MarineMax is dedicated to connecting people with life-changing experiences on the water. More than just a boat retailer, MarineMax offers a complete range of services. 3518 Old Tybee Road, Thunderbolt, and online at marinemax.com. The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBCSports.
Welcome back here. Bernard Williams halftime report, and I think a stunned home crowd here for Benedictine. It's 7-7 here as they head to the locker rooms. And Christian, again, defensively, you've played pretty well, maybe too many chunk plays, and it's not anything if you're Coach Houston that's, hey, they're tricking us or doing it. Like, it's no, this is meathead football. We're going straight downhill. We're running screens and, delayed drags and stuff like that. It's not anything that's overly complicated. but they're taking 6-7 minutes every time they get the football. And for BC, it's just, hey, you go 15, 20 yards forward, you're in a great position, penalty, and you move back, and it gets you off schedule, and it's kind of bogged them down, and that's why we're sitting here at 7-7.
And what do we talk about before the game? The two of the biggest things you had to do was limit big plays and tackle in the open field. And right now, I think there's been 2 or 3 times you could circle where East Forsyth made huge tackles in the open field on spots that have been 70-yard touchdowns for BC these past few weeks. They become 2 or 3 yard gains because East Forsyth is wrapping up. And then on the other side, you started strong, but all of a sudden you're giving up some chunk plays in the run game because you have guys missing assignments and honestly just getting run through a few times. So just both sides of the football, you said it, it's not a lot of coaching so much as it is just looking a guy in the eye saying, do you want to do this or you want to play 24 more minutes of football and be done? Because I'm looking at a team from East Forsyth right now that's fired up and they can smell blood in the water right now. They just got through the first 24 minutes and it's dead even. Now they know, hey, we can make this happen. We can play with these guys. If you're BC, you got to come out, get a stop there on that first drive because you're going to come out on defense and then flipping it over. Offense, you got to start running the rock a little bit because right now it's been a lot of throwing it. You got too many guys back there that can run that rock, but got to come out and look at that offensive line, look at that defensive line and say it's going to come down to you guys.
And again, I think you feel like if you're the Cadets, the next score might be good. Just again, you're going to take a team that if it gets to that point, at some point they're going to have to throw the football and you don't feel like they can, but you got to stay ahead in order to make them do that. Get them off schedule.
100%. And again, if they come out and put points up on that first drive, all of a sudden that's a lot of pressure on you because you got 4 drives in that first half. 2 of them were 3 and out. So in reality, on average, you might have 4 possessions. I'd realistically say if this game stays like this score-wise, you've got 3 possessions coming up in the second half to put points up on the board. It feels kind of like a really tight tennis match where it's just you got to hold serve and eventually you got to break serve. And like you said, if you get up 2 scores, you feel very comfortable. But right now, you got to find a way just to get points on the board.
That's true. And again, I think if it all comes down to it, Christian, keep feeding Bubba Frazier the football. He's been able to make plays, and guys around him are making enough plays. But when it comes, as you said, that time, give it to number 4. He was instrumental in that first drive, made a huge run, and got in the end zone. And I think he's going to be big here in the second half as well.
Yeah, but and the way that he was big is he came out of the I formation as a running back. And so I think, again, get back to the running game, hand the football to him. But, man, Stanley Smart's a pretty dang good running back too. I'm going to gap him up the middle as many times as I can before they stop it, and then that's when a lot of the stuff on the outside can start working. But, again, I think the offense is feeling pressure right now like they have to score. And just, again, you're looking at how the defense is coming out. They're going too high. Safeties playing coverage way off, cover 4 for the most part, and then just running up and making tackles. And you're kind of hoping, hey, if I get it out into the flats, can these guys go make a play, make somebody miss and score a touchdown? It's what you see from teams that have a lot of really, really talented athletes, really guys that can score that are fast, is you see a lot of throws and a lot of plays right at the line of scrimmage. And BC has a lot of guys. They feel like, hey, if I just give them the ball, it can be a touchdown. Right now, East Forsyth is doing a really good job of wrapping up and not letting that happen. I think BC's got to go back to what works, which is hand the rock to number 5, hand the rock to number 4, and then let everything else work off of that.
Yeah, and again, first round here of the state playoffs. A quick score update from our region. Ware County up in Flowery Branch there, leading at 16-10, getting late in that second quarter there as well. We've got more football to come. We've got more to come here on the Bernard Williams halftime report. This is Cadet Football on Watch BC Sports.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
Bowtie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, Bowtie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the Bowtie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. Bowtie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at Bowtie Barbecue CO. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. We are at the half, 7-7. Our score here as we are in the locker rooms. And again, first round of the state Quad A playoffs going on right here at Memorial Stadium. And Christian, in any tournament, sometimes the first one is the trickiest when you're getting started because everybody's fired up. You're kind of getting back in that rhythm. And again, offensively went right down the field. And then after that, it was kind of clunky till right at the end. And even then you took yourself kind of out of a more makeable field goal situation, taking that penalty late in that drive. So you've had one good really possession, I think, for BC. Outside of that, it's been, I think, some good. And then usually one big sack. I think Steven got sacked twice in that first half that really put him in tough down and distance. And then the last drive, again, went down there and you kind of hurt yourself with a penalty. So done some things to hurt yourself, but have been able to move the football at times. I think as it is in any football game, defense has played way too much there in that first half. And it's not been a frenetic playing too much. It's been, hey, every time you're out there, it's 8-9 plays and it's going to eat up 5-6 minutes, even if they don't score.
Yeah, I think the frustrating feeling for a lot of BC fans right now is you're playing their game and you're letting them pick up the first down, chew clock offensively, and then kind of playing into their hands a little bit on the defensive side of the football. So BC's got to come out and play their kind of football there in the second half. And I think Danny Brent made a really good point this past week on his show, which is we could talk about all these adjustments and coaching these guys up and playing different styles of football. But the reality is the best teams are the ones that go out there and have fun. And it doesn't feel like BC's having fun right now. And it's not a fun style of team to play against right now in East Forsyth. But you just got to have the joy in the game. Go out there, run the rock hard, block hard on the offensive line. And for your quarterback and your receivers, just go fly around and get into a rhythm that you've been in all season. But I will say this first round bye week that everybody went through, I think there's some teams, and it's usually the underdogs that loved it, and the teams that were the one seeds going undefeated in region play probably hate it because you're in such a good kind of mode. Gives that other team a chance to scout you a little bit more, install some more stuff that you haven't seen, and just give you their best shot versus, hey, we got to turn around immediately and get into that game week. So I think East Forsyth has come in really well coached. They've executed really well, and they're playing really hard. For BC, you got 24 minutes to turn it around.
We are at the half. Cadets and Broncos all tied up here 7 apiece. BC coaches outside the locker room, and that is something they do normally, but maybe letting some of the seniors kind of have a minute there in that locker room and say, all right, let's turn it around, fellas. BC has done a good job of making halftime adjustments. Christian, a couple weeks ago at Perry, kind of a similar came out in the second half and kind of looked like a different football team. So we'll see what they can do coming out of the locker room here and settle down, run their offense. I know you talk to the coaches, they have the utmost confidence in their players' abilities to go out there and get it done. And defensively, Galen Houston, one of those guys, defensive coordinator, where you can never tell if he's way high or way low. He just kind of stays even keel, and I think his players feed off that a little bit. So we're at the half. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
Criminal defense, family law, child custody, DUI, and divorce. When so much is on the line, you need expert legal representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted the Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023 and an Avo top attorney rating of 9.7. You can count on Jonathan V. Dunn to leave no stone unturned to deliver the justice you seek. Contact 912-200-9352 or online at jvdattorney.com.
Barnes Restaurant is celebrating 50 years of serving Savannah, offering these delicious, money-saving takeout specials.
20-piece hand-breaded chicken finger basket for only $19.75. 12 pieces fried or rotisserie chicken for only $19.75. And feed a large group quick with our 50-piece fried or rotisserie chicken for just $50.
Call ahead for faster service or order online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Welcome back here at the half. Cadets and Broncos all tied up here in round one of the state high school football playoffs. I'm Kevin Thomas. He is Christian Gokel. Glad you're with us as we work our way here through the half. Christian, I will let you know that the Georgia High School Association is a voluntary nonprofit organization composed of over 450 public and private high schools. The GHSA administers regulations for region and state competitions in 19 sports and 2 activities. Founded in 1908, the GHSA strives to promote good sportsmanship, participant safety, and fair play amongst its member schools. For more information, visit GHSA.net. Follow at Official GHSA on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. As we see some of the specialists out there warming back up here for the second half. Christian, a cool, crisp night, but again, nothing outside of the ordinary for South Georgia this time of year. I don't know if it's had much of an impact really on the way the game's been played tonight.
No, and I think it's a perfect night for football, and maybe a little bit of humidity, a little bit of moisture, but for those guys, I think they're used to it at this point in the season. So, again, there's no excuses right now. I think it's a perfect stage right now to play football, but give East Forsyth a ton of credit. They've come down here to a really, really packed Memorial Stadium right now, and everybody's kind of quiet. And that's just – it's the effect. We saw it with Paul Johnson for so many years at Georgia Tech, where it's just like when that offense gets rolling, it's funny to say rolling, but when it starts just ripping clock away, the entire home stadium can go really quiet really fast because it just sucks the energy out, and you only get 3 or 4 possessions on offense, and you're kind of holding your breath when your offense is out there because don't know how many times they're going to get the football. So East Forsyth's done a great job coming in here, very well-coached football team. BC's got a couple quarters to answer here.
Certainly do. A quick scoreboard watch around the region, Christian, here as we start the playoffs. I think presently you got one tied, which is here. Perry is losing 21-0, but they were inside the 5 getting ready to score up at North Oconee. Warner Robins was up 14-0, and Ware, last check, was winning in their matchup up at Flowery Branch.
Yeah, we talked about chance for that region to go 4-0. I would not count Perry out by a long shot. We saw in the game against them in the region play, they're a team that can get hot really fast and score a lot of points really fast, but North Oconee, one of those teams, a lot of teams pointing at and saying, hey, that could be a semifinalist, state champion contender there, and Perry not too far removed from winning their own state championship. So 2 very good programs battling up there at North Oconee. And like you said, Warner Robins, what a run they went on to earn that 2 seed. They upset Ware County in like a 48-42 football game, and then turn around and beat Perry to earn the 2 seed and hosting a playoff game right now. They're beating up on Eastside, and then you kind of had a feeling Ware County was going to be one of those 3 seeds where when you're the 2 seed, you do everything that you're supposed to earn a home playoff game, and then you get the playoff selections, and you're like, son of a gun, this is who we get the first round of the playoffs. So Coach Strickland does a great job there with the Gators, and they're executing at Flowery Branch. So some competitive games, but region, I think, a strong showing so far.
Yeah, so we'll keep you up to date as we go throughout the ball game tonight, but East Forsyth going to get the football when they come out of this locker room, and you say it so many weeks, it becomes cliche, but the first possession for both teams could be of the utmost importance in a tie ball game here in the first round of the playoffs. If you're BC, obviously you'd like to get them off the field in 3 plays and get the ball. Certainly don't want them to score on that first drive, so very, very important right after the kickoff.
Yeah, and I think the first thing you got to focus on is the kickoff. That can't be something that you rely on because it's been very shaky so far this season. You got to go down and make a tackle on kickoff because you gave them the football at the 40 on the first drive, and then turn around, Kevin, and the drive they score a touchdown on, they started on your 50. So it's field position's huge, and you haven't been great on kickoff so far this year. So I know that's something they're in there talking to them about right now. Got to go down and wrap up on kickoff. And like you said, you would love to get off the field in 3 plays and get that offense back out there in plus territory. So big first series coming up here in about 7 minutes for the cadets. And again, you're in there looking at them and saying, hey, for our seniors, you've done all this practice and all this work for so many years. It comes down to the next 2 quarters.
Yeah, go out and get after it. And for East Forsyth, they're doing the role of spoiler nicely, right? You come
perfectly
in, suck the air out of the stadium, hold on to the football, take advantage when we get opportunities, and really have been down there, could have had 6 more points, missed a couple of field goals there in that first half, or we could be looking at 13-7 right now. So I think if you're East Forsyth, boy, that message is nothing but positive over there in that locker room. And as you said in the pregame, you come out, play with your hair on fire, nothing to lose, and they did that in the first half.
And I'll say this, they came out a little bit more composed than I expected them to be. And I'm not saying that as I expect them to be a bad football team. I just thought, hey, you're playing against a team that you're an underdog to by 35 points in the Maxwell ratings. Thought they'd be a little bit more gimmicky, some trick plays and stuff like that. But they've just come out, executed their defense, executed their offense, and they've gone nose-to-nose with BC. And so far it's a stalemate.
Yeah, so big opening series upcoming, needless to say, in this football game. Offense has been kind of hit or miss here for the cadets, and I think we'll see a lot of maybe Bubba Frazier coming up here in the second half. Want your playmakers to keep touching the football if you're BC. So we'll take one more break. Christian Gokel will come back as both teams out on the field for their second half warm-ups, and we'll get you ready for that second half kickoff. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece. We're coming right back. This is the Bernard Williams Insurance Halftime Report here on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
I'm Kenny Granger from Cash and Carry. We're a family-owned business right here in Savannah. We have sections of vehicles that really make it all simple. You'll get a printout of where the vehicle's at, the color of the vehicle. We really want them to be able to come in the yard and find out right where they need to be. The average savings would be at least 70, 80, could be even 90% compared to original manufactured parts. So you can come to a place like Cash and Carry and find the parts that you need at an extremely reasonable price. We'd love for you to come check us out.
Welcome back here at the half. BC and East Forsyth, 7-7. Meanwhile, Christian, you look at some of these scores that we had some folks sending in. You got one going on down the interstate in Brunswick. It's Winder, Barrow, and Brunswick. They've still got 5 minutes left to go in the first half. It's 46-30. So we've scored a combined 14. They've probably scored 14 points in the last 2 minutes.
Basketball hasn't started yet, right?
That's correct.
Oh, my goodness. Defense optional.
Yeah. Defense just stayed on the bus.
I don't know, Kevin, if there's a lot of teams that could do that against air. And it's like, hey, guys, we got to put 46 points here. That's wild.
Yeah, so you see a little bit of everything here across the state of Georgia in the playoffs. We're into that final kind of 3-minute countdown here before we get to the second half. Christian Gokel will be East Forsyth taking the football first. So that cadet defense hopefully rested up there in the locker room. They're going to have to go right back out there on the field. And, again, I know regular season, sometimes you see Danny Britt will try a little pooch to a zone where it's open. I don't know if playoffs, tie ball game, start the second half, if you're going to pull that move here. You probably want East Forsyth as deep as possible.
Correct. And I think they're going to try to kick it deep and try to either coffin corner or go down there and put it in the end zone. But I'm curious, Kevin, we talk about this a lot, and East Forsyth clearly a very well-coached football team. When you're going to pull the upset, you can't have one game plan. You got to have that switch, and I'm a millennial, so I'm going to go with the Fast and the Furious reference. You got to have the NOS, right, where it's, hey, everything's even. What's the button you're going to press that pushes you past even and go win the football game? And what's the wrinkle from East Forsyth here in the second half? What do we see offensively from them to get them some more points on the board and bust this one open? Feel like you're getting some eyes in the backfield from BC if you want to. The horrifying thing if you're a defense playing this kind of offense is all of a sudden they pull up and they're taking a shot deep and somebody's just running wide open. What's the wrinkle from East Forsyth in the second half that's going to give BC headaches? That's what I'm watching for.
And again, it's much like we've seen a game with Marist several years ago. It's like you look, and then when they get you leaning that one time, that's all it takes. And you got guys running wide open. So, again, very crucial third quarter upcoming here for these two teams. Cadets trying to keep their playoff run going, but right now, tie ball game. And again, I think you need Stephen Cannon to get back on track a little bit. Kind of looks unsettled in the pocket.
Yeah.
Sometimes has had a lot of time. Other times, some free rushers coming free, and you got to tuck it and move. So,
when you're doing big drop back passes against a deep zone coverage team, and they're doing a good job of just hanging out back there and communicating in coverage, passing guys off when they need to, I think you help Stephen Cannon out by running the rock here, just establishing that front. When you did run the football, Kevin, I thought you had success. Bubba Frazier busted the touchdown run, and then you had Stanley Smart on some jet sweeps, get outside and some leverage, but they've done a good job of creating negative plays and forcing you into passing situations, and you just got to stay in front of the sticks here and get that pass game going by getting that run game going.
So that'll be the Bernard Williams halftime report. Bernard Williams Insurance, been with us many, many years now, helping bring you the halftime coverage, and they do a great job providing for families and their insurance needs and businesses. So thanks to Bernard Williams Insurance for being with us yet again here in 2025. As we get ready for the second half, this will be Parker Lewis is going to kick it off.
And we talked about it, Kevin. Parker Lewis is kind of the pooch specialist. Can sky that football and do a really good directional kick. You wonder if Danny Britt, he's the riverboat gambler sometimes in these scenarios. Is he going to try something here? Lob one about the 30-yard line, let his guys go get it.
So here we go, second half about to get underway. And here is Parker Lewis. He is going to pooch it up. It's in the air, fair caught.
Great execution from East Forsyth.
At the 43-yard line. So they did try it. Broncos were ready for it, and it was pulled down there by Dominic Primato. And now that BC defense back out there, and it starts right here, Christian, with great field position for the Broncos. And you know they are very deliberate here. Want to get them behind the sticks early.
If you're BC, don't need to do anything fancy. Just stay in your lanes and execute. That gets harder and harder to do and more frustrating the longer they're on the field.
So here's Chase Rhodes. Again, everybody packed in, save for one wide receiver. And here's the snap. They'll give inside Newman, and nicely read that time. And that was Cam Cody fired up.
Yeah.
And it looks like Larson Little was in there on the bottom of that pile as well.
Yeah, force it in and then collapse. You can't shoot, fly upfield, and give them gaps. Everybody collapsed down and did a really good job there wrapping up and tackling. And, Kevin, if I was East Forsyth there, I probably would have gone hard count because BC was chomping at the bit to get after that play.
Excuse me, Jackson Norman. Apparently I've been saying Newman a lot. I apologize about that. Jackson Norman was that back. Here's the snap. Rhodes. He's going to roll out to his right, giving chases. Cam Cody. He was getting shoved in the back. That pass is incomplete. They're going to get a hold on East Forsyth. Darn near shoved Cam Cody into the quarterback, and then it's like, oop, don't want to do that. And that'll back up the Broncos, and Danny Britt is like, yes.
Yes.
And I don't think from what they've seen in the first half, they respect the deep passing game, so this will make it
that's what
second down and very long.
That's what you can do when you feel like you have a really strong and dominant front seven is you can leave four back in coverage, and BC doing a good job. Eye discipline there in the secondary. Nobody running free, and Cam Cody is eating on these first two plays.
So second down and a long ways. They need to get to the BC 47 for a first down.
Watch out for a screen here.
Empty backfield here for Rhodes. He'll throw it in the slot. It's going to be caught, and he'll be dropped right after he catches it at the 36. Tackle made by Houston, and it'll bring up third down and long.
Yeah, just about 3 yards on that play. You're willing to give that up if you're BC. So now can't have penalties and just got to stay disciplined on the back end here. And man, this would be a nice time for Mr. Guyton to make an appearance.
So it'll be third down and about 18. Here's the snap. Rhodes going to roll to his right, looking, and is going to tuck it and go. Going to run into a wall named Jalen Houston. And he just upended him there at about the 39, and there's your stop. And I don't know if the East Forsyth coaches wanted a target. He hit him right in the chest.
Yeah, the quarterback's he's not a defensive player there. He turned himself into a runner.
And the BC defense fired up. Let's see if it carries over to that offense. Double safeties back for the Cadets. And the first punt of the night for the Broncos. Had a couple of missed field goals. So first chance for the BC punt team to get some work. Here's the snap. Kick is a nice one. Going to come down. This is Bubba Frazier off the 30. He's got a lane here to the near side. Going to stutter step and circle back. A flag's going to come in. And Bubba's going to run a long ways for nothing as another flag comes in, and up the near sideline he goes and then shoved out of bounds. So a hold on this side or a block in the back, and certainly a block in the back or hold on the far side. So pick which one you want on the Cadets, and it's going to back them up.
Yeah, disappointing there because you were going to have great field position, but in the same vein, great 3-play series there from the defense. Really, really consistent and had their eyes where they needed to be. I know there's some big plays there, but I was more impressed, Kevin, by the fact that they were able to come out, execute, and the misdirection, the play action pass. BC was ready for it all. That was a huge series there from the defense, and you got the football back for your offense. Curious to see what the conversation was there at halftime.
That'll put the ball on the 33-yard line here for BC. And now A.J. DePhillips, the offensive coordinator. Ball's in his court, no pun intended, as you got to get this offense kind of back on track here. Here's a give. This will be Stanley Smart. Cuts back inside. And he'll get out. Still pushing the pile before they finally blow it dead.
He never went down.
Yeah. They're going to blow it dead at a 39. A gain of 6 on first down. And, again, there's that running game you talked about, Christian. It's not flashy, but you've been 5-6 yards being able to do this.
Yeah, you pull the guard and tackle right there and get some big guys on little guys out in space, and just a really positive first play there. Now you have your full playbook open.
This will be a swing out to Josh Washington. Josh going to cut back inside. He's got a first down out towards the 47-yard line. That's a BC Brothers moving the chains, first down.
I know it's become cliche at this point to say it, Kevin, but those little swing passes just an extension of the run game, and that's a toss sweep out of the shotgun. So you go guard, tackle, pull, power football, and then you come back with a toss sweep right there. BC just getting back to their roots right now.
1st and 10 here for the Cadets. Here's Cannon. Play action, a little quick toss. It's going to be caught, and that's going to be a first down. Coming back here to the near side, and brought down. No, he's not brought down. Still going inside the 20, and that was Josh Washington again.
You had a bunch of East Forsyth guys going after the football instead of tackling Josh Washington, and he said, hey, I'll take those 20 extra yards.
Under center this time for the Cadets. They'll go straight ahead and right up the gut. Stanley Smart has a first down inside the 5 of BC Brothers. Moving the chains. They got it cranked up here now, Christian. That's a first down.
Yeah, BC not letting up here. No subs, just straight to the football, going for that next snap.
Oh, I think somebody might have jumped. BC going to go straight up the gut. Smart going to get maybe a yard down to the 4.
Yeah, I think you're right. They were probably offsides, but as quickly as BC went right there, officials didn't see it.
I thought maybe they had somebody off that what would have been the right side of the offensive line, left side of the defense coming a little early.
Yeah, and circle that one, Kevin. If BC doesn't score right here, you go quick. That was a great play by East Forsyth on a quick turnaround there to get a stop there on first down.
Second down, inside the 5. Cannon, a little end around, coming back here to the near side, and they will get nothing. Trying to give it to Bubba here on the near side.
I think
that was Josh Washington
yeah,
again.
he's kind of become the guy on those buck sweeps. Danny Britt says there's no one who runs it like him, but East Forsyth watching tape, they knew where that one was going.
3rd and goal here for the Cadets.
And this is where, in the past, you've got such great receivers. They've let somebody route somebody up, but I formation usually means toss sweeps coming.
They'll put Bubba in motion. They'll pitch it. Josh Washington here to the near side. Nice seal block, touchdown. Boy, Stanley Smart, you had to be paying attention. He squared up a guy, and that as soon as Josh turned the corner, you knew it was good. Touchdown, Benedictine, and back out on top.
Yeah, that I formation, no messing around that time. Straight to the toss sweep, and you mentioned it, some great seal blocks. Started with Stanley Smart. Bubba Frazier blocked his guy, and then a couple offensive linemen peeling out there as well. Just power football, and what a huge drive for the Cadets.
And here is Parker Lewis for the point after. The kick is up, and it is right through there. Cadets back on top, 14-7. This is Cadet football on Watch BC Sports, presented by Cash and Carry.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Cadets go right down the field, spawned by that defensive effort right out of the locker room. And they take it 67 yards on a long drive for a touchdown. And they lead it 14-7 here in the first round of the state playoffs. And it will be John Britton to kick it off this time for BC. He's more the deep guy.
Yeah, and Kevin, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half. What they went in there and visualized is exactly what they came out and have done here to start the second half. 3 and out, and then right down the field for a touchdown.
So here is Brenton. He'll line drive it up the right side, and it will come down about the 7. And right back up the seam. Nicely done there. That's Jonathan Black making the tackle around the 20-yard line. Bringing down Jace Forrest. And that's where now a flag comes in.
And I think they're going to get, usually when you see the guy throw his hands in the air, I think they're going to get Cam Cody for John.
Unsportsmanlike on Cam Cody.
They just cannot have that.
And Danny Britt saying, what'd he say? Probably. And a look on his face is like, are you going to throw a flag on?
I think if I had to guess, somebody said bleeping bleep.
A magic word. And
yep.
And Danny Britt's going to walk with the near side official the whole way on that penalty. He's still giving him.
Okay, you can talk smack and you can say bleep and bleep, but you can't do it right in front of the white hat. And there's certain things you can't say or they have to throw the flag. So, and I get it. Big time playoff game here in the state of Georgia. Some people might say it's soft, but I mean, by the letter of the law, the official's standing right there. He's got to call it.
So 1st and 10 here for the Broncos. Out across the 35 after the penalty. This is Smallwood off the right side, and he'll keep moving, but he'll get a yard or two.
Yeah, that's the play they score the touchdown on, just collapsing that side. You hit it like you're taking it inside and then bounce it outside. And that time, BC did a good job. Had guys running in outside linebacker corner to make that tackle.
That was Larson Little. Also Jackson in there at linebacker helping out on the stop. I think Rasheen was one of those guys mentioned as having a big increase in the weight room here over the course of the season.
Oh, yeah.
The pass over the middle is intercepted. Coming back the other way. Up the left sideline and out of bounds. It was that Mackay with the interception. A flag comes in over the far sideline. Mekhi Williams just read a poorly thrown ball and raced up the sidelines. And who's this penalty? It was after the interception, so Cadets will keep the football. It's just a matter of where. And what a pick by Mekhi Williams.
Well, we talked about it. BC has been able to win with their front four. And so you've allowed two safeties to sit back there. Mekhi Williams just staring at the quarterback, and the quarterback threw it right to him. That's a great play from your safety.
Personal foul against BC.
I think blindside block. And that official's throwing those personal foul calls with some authority.
So now, if you're BC, a huge drive here. We talked about at the half, a 2-score football game against a team that, as we've seen, not really a threat to throw it 20, 30 yards down the field and score in 30 seconds.
Correct. This is a dagger drive right here for BC.
And they'll open up in an empty set.
But again, great job by Mekhi, just sitting back, playing safety, eyeing the quarterback, watching him the whole way, and then they try to run a seam route right there, and Mekhi steps right in front, and we've seen, man, he's so good when the football's in his hands.
This is Mallard in motion. They'll fling it out to him. Aaron with the catch, got a wall set up, going to cut back in. Oh, look at the moves. Oh, my goodness, Aaron Mallard's going to take it to the house. Up the left side, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, and a little left juke stick there in the middle of the field. Christian Coquel, and Mallard takes it to the house on the first play.
Yeah, Kevin, and again, just an extension of that run game. We talked about getting the ball to your receivers, getting your ball to your playmakers, and letting them make plays in space. That's the easiest touchdown of Stephen Cannon's life. Just a little swing pass to the outside, and Aaron Mallard does the rest. But that cutback, man, that's Reggie Bush stuff right there, where you are able to stop and start and be at full speed. That's unbelievable.
Parker Lewis for the point after. And right out of the locker room, BC 2 stops on defense, 2 touchdowns on offense, and it's 21-7. We'll step aside. Once again, this is Cadet Football presented by Cash and Carry.
Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. We'll have to ask Danny Britt what on earth he said in that locker room.
I mean,
they came out on fire, but you could see a change in the body language, the emotion, the intensity from the guys on defense, and that kind of carried over to the offense.
I think the thing you say to them is, guys, you got 2 quarters. If you want to keep your high school football career going, you got 2 quarters. But I think the biggest thing is BC's just come out and played their game in the second half. It hasn't been anything new, hasn't been anything different. They're just getting the football to the playmakers. Stephen Kane is executing the offense, and you've got a ton of guys that anytime the football touches their hand, they can take it to the house. So right now you're kind of forcing East Forsyth's hand because this game can get away from them really quick.
This will be John Brenton to kick it off. He'll drive it up the right side, a little shorter this time, out at about the 12. And nice open. Nope, got out of it and spun him around. I think that was Amari Burst with the tackle.
Now, Cam Cody, don't say anything. You pinned him last time, and then he gave him a 15-yard head start. Cam Cody going out there very quietly.
So now, if you're BC and you're Galen Houston, the defensive coordinator, can you kind of pin your ears a little bit, knowing that, hey, it's either going to be a power run or probably something short in front of us.
Yeah, and again, what's the adjustment for East Forsyth? I mean, it's kind of the risk you run when you milk clock that much is you've shortened the game on yourself now where there's only 17 minutes left of game clock for you to get at least 2 more scores. And the way BC's offense is rolling, you feel like you're probably going to need more than that. So have you kind of put yourself in an untenable situation?
Broncos are late getting on the field, already down to 3 on the play clock. Here's the snap. They'll give it to Smallwood, and going nowhere. Big Cam Cody just spun back around and closed that play off. Gavin Smith in there as well on the tackle, and defensive line winning here in the second half.
Yeah, you just can't have that if you're East Forsyth off of a dead ball. You get a kickoff, and then your first play, you're having to rush out there and get guys on late. I just can't have that in a game like this. And now, again, you go slow the entire first half, and you come out here, and it's 20 seconds already off the play clock, and you still haven't got the play in.
So 2nd down and 12 here for the Broncos. Rhodes going to roll out to his right and looking for something back over the middle. Intercepted. That's Larson Little. Coming back to the near side. We're going to have a pick six. Larson Little, touchdown. And the wheels have come off the Broncos wagon. And there's a pick six touchdown, and the Cadets lead at 27-7. And that was rule number 1. Roll to your right. Don't throw back to the left over the middle of the field. And BC was ready for it.
Yeah, it's so cool to see from Larson Little, the leader, your defense, inside linebacker, the guy who calls the plays and just sticks his nose into a pile. We talked about it, Kevin. He's a meathead, but a meathead with a 4.0 GPA, and he knew right where to be on that play. Huge play from your senior inside linebacker. And, man, begging a college to pay attention to this dude because he is a football player.
It was 7-7 7 minutes ago. And now a Parker Lewis extra point from being a 3-touchdown lead. And that's when you have the playmakers, Christian, you can just score so fast. And you take a game that was nip and tuck, and within a matter of seconds, kick is up and good. Have blown this thing wide open, 28-7. Cadets out in front. We're stepping aside. We're coming right back. Cadet football brought to you by Cash and Carry.
Dead or alive, we want your car. No matter the condition, running smooth or barely rolling, Cash and Carry in Savannah will buy it right off the road. Visit us now, get your instant offer, and turn that ride into cash today. We buy cars, any condition.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets have blown this thing wide open in the third quarter and have come out like a new ball club here.
Yeah, 2 interceptions really kind of setting the tone here. And how about Larson Little, man? Nose for the end zone.
So here is John Britton to kick it again. And what a turn the Cadets have made here. Here's the kick. Britton going to drive it up the right side again. It will go out of bounds. And it'll be the third possession already of the half for the Broncos. The fourth possession already of the half. They only had, 4 in the first half?
Yeah. 3 and out, interception, pick six. Not the design you needed to pull the upset here in the second half, but you still got time on the clock. You're just going to – we talked about emptying that bag of tricks. Now's the time to start.
And that defensive front starting to win a lot.
And again, Kevin, it's the risky run. You were at halftime 7-7, but the style of play that you had dictated your defense continuing to shut BC out, and I just didn't know how long that was going to hold. And since BC was able to score that first touchdown, the wheels have started kind of coming off.
They'll give it to Norman. He'll go straight ahead. Boy, he runs hard. That's a first down. A gain of 11 on first down and moving the chains.
On the flip side of that, BC's been on the field a lot defensively here in the second half. Yes, they've got some interceptions, but, I mean, it's been back-to-back picks. That was a pick six, and your defense is right back on the field. Chance here for East Forsyth to cut into this lead and make it a 2-score game if they're able to put some points on the board.
So 1st and 10 here for the Broncos. Out across their 46. Here's the snap. Straight ahead. This is Norman again. He'll get close to midfield. I think BC fortunate there. I think they were flipping the defensive front. I think LaDamian Guyton might have been offsides trying to get to the other side.
I think the Cadets right now okay with this. You're going run play up the middle for 4 yards, taking 20 seconds to get the play call in. you're good with that.
Yeah, a lot of time being burned up here by the Broncos. And here's the give. This is Norman straight ahead and brought down. Gavin Smith. Larson Little with the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
And I got to imagine, Kevin, 2-down territory right here. You need at least 3 possessions, including this one, to even the score. You'd be lucky if you get that.
Clock continues to roll here in the second half. Now they'll check back. BC's made an adjustment. If you'll notice, once they move the tight ends, they kind of flip their defensive alignment.
Yeah, they're playing strong side, weak side.
And here's the keeper by Rhodes trying to run near side, and that is Cam Cody. And then everybody else shows up and says, not going to happen. And that'll be 4th down. And now let's see what the Broncos decide to do.
It looks like they got their punt team ready. But, I mean, how about your nose tackle chasing down the quarterback from behind? And BC sends out their punt return unit, but East Forsyth hasn't sent him out yet. If I'm East Forsyth, I might rush up towards the play clock or to the ball and snap it. And now BC subs back out. Yeah,
you would have had Aaron Mallard out there on defense. Not that he can't do it, but
yeah, a few more guys run off. On BC, I might think about a timeout right here.
4th down and 7.
And I think
East
Forsyth's going to think about a timeout. Yeah,
and they may change their mind to punt it. Who knows? But a minute 34 to go here in the 3rd. It's been all cadets and a big 4th down upcoming. We'll step aside very quickly. This is Cadet Football. Watch BC Sports.
Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Big 4th down. 4th down is 7 upcoming here for East Forsyth. And Christian Gokel defense has gotten it done here in the second half. 2 interceptions, a pick 6. And again, depending on what the Broncos elect to do, but again, it's the state playoffs. You don't get this, you're still down 3 touchdowns, so nothing to lose.
Right. And the backbreaker was the first interception. You were still in it, just down a touchdown there, but that interception to Mekhi Williams really set you up in a spot to play a style of offense you don't want to play. But now here they'll go 4 wide.
Rhodes in a pistol will put the tailback Ferguson off to the left. And here's the snap. Rhodes looking, throws in the slot. It's caught over the middle, and a tackle made by Wyatt Estabrook there at his safety spot. But that's enough for a 1st down on the hookup with Jace Forrest. And that's a 1st down.
Yeah, it's the same play we saw earlier where White was able to break that one up, but this time they're able to clear him off just enough, and a really nice job by the receiver getting that inside leverage. Huge 1st down on a 4th and long. Huge pickup, on a 4th and long. I don't know if you can do a 3rd down on a 4th down.
You've got Rasheen Jackson covering the slot, and now Rhodes forced out to his right. There's nobody out there. He's going to take it, and he'll run out of bounds. After a gain of about 7, boy, he had a lot of room. I think he really wanted to throw it, but decided ultimately to tuck it and go. Probably could have had more if he had tucked it off the jump. We'd say that about Stephen Cannon a lot, trying to wait and make a play.
And you're trying to score a 21-point touchdown, and it's not there on the playbook, man, and you got to go and just pick up the yards that you can. But, yeah, just trying to make some big plays here. Know that you got to hit a couple of long ones if you're going to get back in this football game. And if you're BC's defense, just keep everything in front of you and make them work for every inch of this touchdown.
So 2nd down, they'll give ahead. This is going to be Smallwood, I believe. And he'll get 4. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
See Jackson coming out there fired up.
That's LaDamian Guyton getting up off the bottom of that pile.
Again, it's not a really fun style of offense to play against, but I think he's done a really good job tonight. Him, Jameer Lee making the start. That front four has been playing well. They got to snap it one more time.
Yep, 14 on the play clock. This is Norman. They'll give it to him straight ahead. Jackson Norman. And that's the old Tim Tebow play. Just give it to him and say, go ahead. And he did, and that's a first down.
I'm wondering when they're going to do the Tim Tebow play and a little pop pass from that.
And that's going to take us to the fourth quarter. Cadets explode here in the third for 21 points. They lead it 28-7 over East Forsyth. We're coming right back. Final quarter to go here. First round of the state playoffs. This is Watch BC Sports.
The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBC Sports.
The Georgia High School Association would like to thank its corporate partners for their valuable support of high school athletics and activities. Alpha Insurance, Georgia Electric Membership Corporation, Gatorade, Wilson, BSN Sports, the Atlanta Hawks, Mizuno, the Atlanta Braves, Subway, Sports Medicine South, the Atlanta Track Club, NFHS Network, Regions Bank, Max Preps, GoFan, and Georgia Public Broadcasting. I'm Kevin Thomas. He's Christian Gokel back here for the fourth. Cadets explode for 21 points there in the third, Christian. And East Forsyth got it 1st and 10 from the Cadet 22-yard line to start it off here in the fourth quarter. Rhodes takes the snap. He'll give it to Norman straight ahead. Maybe a couple there.
Yeah, Norman's been the offense, and he's a really strong dude, big dude. And, again, they're going to have to throw the football to get back in this game. But right now, if you're East Forsyth's coaching staff, you're saying full playbook's open. We got to score on this drive for anything else to matter.
I think Rasheem Jackson was in there on the tackle. It's 2nd and 9. Snap to Rhodes. Oh, he fumbled the football. Going to spin around. Oh, my goodness. Just ran into a wall of gray led by big number 55, Cam Cody. And you see him and Gavin Smith and Jameer Lee coming at you. Halloween was a couple of weeks ago, but that was scary.
Yeah, and again, put you in a 3rd and long situation. They were able to pick up a big 4th and long a little while ago in this drive, but again, how many times can you be in this position and execute? And they're coming in trips again. That's the same formation they keep running. Again, they're running the 2 inside guys off and bringing 15 over the middle on that slant route. And you see Bakai Williams talking to Wyatt Esbrook right now, like, all right, I'm going to come over here this time.
Got JoJo Sutton covering Adamson down here. This is Rhodes. He'll throw it up, and Jonathan Black in coverage. And that's going to be incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that time they just try to go to a one-on-one, and Jonathan Black's been locked down all year. I don't know if that's the guy I'm trying to throw to in a one-on-one.
Again, just a sophomore. He's got a lot of football left and has really stepped in and played tremendous corner, as you said.
Here's how I know he's playing well is Danny Britt at the beginning of the season, Jonathan Black's really good. He's like, yeah, Jonathan's a good player. He's going to be a good player for us. At this point in the season, he's like, yeah, Jonathan Black's a good player. Like when the coach changes their tone to he's a pretty good player, then you know you got a dude.
So this will be 4th down and 13 here for the Broncos. Rhodes going to try to throw it again. Black in coverage, not even close. And Jonathan had him locked up over there on the far side, and that'll bring up a change of possession here as the Cadets will take over. And you feel like at this point, BC survived the storm of that first half. Christian have answered the call in the second half.
Yeah, it felt a little rusty for BC offensively, and that's to be expected coming off of a bye week, 2 weeks off there. And, again, didn't really play a ton in the fourth quarter of that New Hampstead game, so even more than that. So, again, little clunky offense. I think it started to find the rhythm, and they did it by doing the plays that they're installing on day 1 and day 2 way back in the summer. So, BC's offense starting to find themselves a little bit. Now you want to put some more points on the board. Next drive, you'll start working some clock.
5 wide here for the Cadet offense. Cannon on a drop. They'll do a little throwback screen. This is Mallard across the 30, spinning. Aaron's still on his feet and across the 40. A gain of 15 on first down. BC Brothers moving. Fire the bus up, move those chains. That's a first down.
And Kevin, again, underclassman, and he's incredibly fast, but we're talking about some of those numbers from the bench and squatting and verticals. 375-pound back squat for your slot receiver. That's all right.
That'll play. Cadets now have Bubba Frazier in the backfield with Stephen Cannon. Now they'll motion Bubba out of there, and they'll throw it to him. Bubba trying to turn the corner. Oh, kind of got hog-tied up there at the 41, just a gain of 1. The clock continues to roll. And
man coverage that time, and the inside linebacker did a great – inside linebacker, nickel, whichever position you want to call him, did a great job of just flying towards Bubba. That's one I'm sure A.J. DePhillips has put in his back pocket where you can kind of fake that and then go to a wheel route down the sideline because they were flying upfield on that one.
2nd and 9. Here's the snap. They'll throw it out. Cannon caught Josh Washington. Josh drags ahead close to midfield. Near side officials got him right on the line. That's going to be awfully close.
If he marks that on his foot, then that's a first down.
And so BC Brothers moving the chains, first down. Cadets going to go no huddle, speed up the tempo here. And they'll go flex bone on the look. Cannon, straight drop, looking. Out route caught Josh Washington, 5 yards, and BC kind of back to what they were doing to open the game, and they'll just, again, this is kind of prevent defense in reverse.
Yeah.
You'll take that all night. Just give me 5 yards and burn the clock.
And I know it doesn't seem like it's that difficult, but the timing on that and the release from Stephen Cannon's arm is what makes it look so easy. All right, do we finally get a big play action out of this formation?
They'll motion the 2 receivers.
You literally just
over.
heard the East Forsyth side screaming toss.
They fake it to Josh Washington back inside to Smart. Stanley ahead. He's going to be about a yard short.
So a little bit of a wrinkle.
And you saw the big action toss there.
Yeah.
From Steven.
I mean, the entire East Forsyth side was screaming, toss!
So Stanley Smart doing it as running back, fullback.
He's a ball player, man.
So 3rd and 1.
I think this is probably going to be number 5 right at the gut, if I had to guess.
They give it to Stanley Smart. He's got the first down. And Moore breaks through. That's a 30, 25-20. They're not catching him. That's a touchdown. Stanley Smart, 41 yards, right up the gut. And an exclamation point there for Stanley Smart. BC leads it 34-7.
Yeah, just kept the legs moving right there and got past that first wave of defenders. And once he's in the secondary, nobody's catching him. Big touchdown there from your running back.
Stanley Smart, so good. A lot of BC fans take that cue to head towards warmer climate.
So we'll see you next week.
Hit us up on the Watch BC Sports YouTube page once you get in the car. Come on. Extra point is good. Finish up strong here with us on the broadcast.
And listen, you only had 3 home games in the regular season this year. Trying to earn that 4th and 5th one right now.
So a tale of 2 halves here. And again, we kind of talked about it. If you could ever just kind of jump out and put the Broncos on their heels offensively, trying to make them be uncomfortable, and that's what they've done. It's led to 2 interceptions, and you can tell just not a big part of what the Broncos do week in and week out, throwing the football like that.
It may not be St. Patrick's Day, but we are in Savannah.
There's John Brenton to kick it away for the Cadets. Again, you were talking with Danny Britt earlier this week. Cadets have made the playoffs in each of Danny Britt's seasons as the head coach, correct? Is this 15 straight?
Yeah, and this will be the 14th round one victory in a row for the Cadets. Just consistency.
Britton will kick it right down the middle, and it'll come down inside the 10. Cadets running their lanes. Ooh, a nice shot there. I think that was Kleinpeter with the tackle. And he knocked down Trent Polk, and that's where the Broncos will take over. And this BC defense has really taken it up a notch here in the second half.
And you wonder, is this maybe the last drive? You see the starters. If I had to imagine, they're still out there right now just for the fact they just came off of a bye week.
Here's a snap to Rhodes. He'll give it ahead, and that's going nowhere. That was snuffed out. I believe that was Larson Little doing a little crawling.
Fired up. And again, that one, he kind of have LaDamian Guyton as the fullback just completely crashing the edge, and then Larson Little following his block into the backfield. That's a great play design right there, and Mr. Little's had himself a ball game.
He certainly has. Big pick six. Been in on a lot of tackles, as he always is. And here's second down and 12. Rhodes looking here to the near side, throws it out behind the tight end. And incomplete. It'll bring up third down.
Again, the passing game is supposed to be there as just a wrinkle. They can't rely on it, and it's just felt clunky ever since. JoJo Sutton a little tight. He's going to come off. Amari Burke's going to come on.
So third down and long here for the Broncos. Rhodes, he'll look. Going to wind up, throw it back over the middle of the field, and incomplete. And again, great coverage. That was Makai Williams in coverage that time. And again, just you can see teams that don't throw it a lot when they have to do it and have to throw it way downfield.
Right.
Not built to do it. And they're going to punt this football.
Yeah, that might be the white flag right there, Kevin.
Broncos will punt it away. A nice high hanging punt. They're going to let it hit. And
I think
it's going to take a BC bounce.
You had two return men back there, and I think Bubba thought Makai was going to grab it. I think Makai thought Bubba was going to grab it. It's like the infielders when there's a pop fly.
Stephen Cannon, the offense, looks like the starters are coming out there, and I would imagine if you're Danny Britt or AJ DePhillips, right now you're saying, is there a possible way we can have a 5-minute drive here?
Yeah, this is
just not have to go back out there.
Yeah, this is the 4-minute drive drill. You're just trying to work clock. That or they're just going to take this opportunity to get some more snaps and get some live fire for, again, a team that's been off for a week.
So here's Cannon, Steven looking. He'll roll, throw it out in the flat. It's going to be caught. This is going to be Mallard, and he gets knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like to me, Kevin. I don't know about you, but this seems like AJ DePhillips and Danny Britt are going to give this offense another full drive here, full playbook, and just let them get back into rhythm. We saw kind of how tight they were playing there in the first half. Find this momentum, stick to it, and try to carry it into next week.
So second down, call it about 3. And they'll give it. Nope, they'll play action out here to Mallard again, dancing inside. Oh, he just shoved a guy off of him, and he'll be brought down out of bounds. That'll be a first down. BC Brothers moving, and that was just get off of me and threw him to the side.
You can't be that fast and that strong. That's not fair.
Number 12, Oakland to play.
So it'll be a first down here for the Cadets. 4 wide, but they're all bunched in. Mallard, the motion man, and somebody moved for East Forsyth.
Stephen Cannon doing his job. Yeah, Stephen Cannon doing his job, trying to say it's on the defense, but that's going to be on BC. And, man, give so much credit to East Forsyth. They came in here and punched BC in the mouth and gave them the best shot there in the first half, had it tied going into halftime. Really strong contingent of East Forsyth fans in the stands, and even the travel band making the trip.
Certainly a long ride up near the Gainesville area.
Yeah, and as a school of 400 students that does not have a band, it always adds so much to the atmosphere when a team brings a band.
They'll give it to Josh Washington off the right sideline, or right side. Josh going to turn the corner. He's at the 25 and at the 20 and shoved out of bounds. And a nice run there by Josh Washington. And that'll move the chains. BC Brothers moving. And a clock inside 5 minutes to go now.
Yeah, Kevin, we talk about BC and just what they're built on, and the buck sweep is the play that they kind of build this offense around. And that time, Josh Washington does a great job of cleaning his cleats and getting to the sideline. And Danny Britt said he's the best player on the team at running that buck sweep.
They'll empty the set here for Cannon on first down. Toss to Mallard. Aaron cuts back inside. Oh, what a spin move touchdown. Aaron Mallard into the end zone. And a final jolt to the scoreboard for the Cadets. And they lead it 41-7.
All right, so I know there's a lot of people listening right now that probably hated the BCS when it was in college football and all the ratings and systems, but the Maxwell rating had this one as a 35-point spread. Kevin, after this extra point.
There you go.
That's some good math right there.
Parker Lewis, the point after, is up, and it is good. 42-7, just inside 4.5 to go in the ball game. We're coming right back. This is Cadet Football presented by Cash and Carry.
Criminal defense, family law, child custody, DUI, and divorce. When so much is on the line, you need expert legal representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted the Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023 and an Avo top attorney rating of 9.7. You can count on Jonathan V. Dunn to leave no stone unturned to deliver the justice you seek. Contact 912-200-9352 or online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Cadets have put up 35 unanswered points here in the second half, Christian Gokel, and have blown this first round wide open. If you were just tuned in now and look at the score, you'd say, oh, a ho-hum victory. It was 7-7 at the half. And I think a lot of people were saying, uh-oh, did we underestimate East Forsyth and maybe not respect what they were doing? They were controlling the ball offensively. And then in the second half, it's been a different story.
Yeah, 35 unanswered points here for the Cadets there in the second half, and it's been playmakers making plays.
Here's Brenton kicking it up the left hash. Down inside the 5. And tackle made out at the 15. Well, that's where the Broncos will take over. And Christian now, BC looks ahead. They'll have a home game again next week against either Mays or Cass out of the Atlanta area. Region doing fairly well tonight. Ware was up at last check. Warner Robins up 21-7 over Eastside. And only Perry was losing. It was, 21-7 way back near halftime. So the Region holding up its end so far. If those go final, that was almost intercepted. Ball was knocked down. I think that was Jameer Lee. He got a mid on it. And it looks like you have gone exclusively backups here on the defensive side of the football.
And as of...
There goes Gavin Smith. He's the last one off.
As of 7 minutes ago, Cass leads Mays 21-6. I believe they're a 9-1 football team heading into that game.
So they will come down to Savannah next week. if that score holds. And we'll be here with you next Friday. Here's the snap, the give inside, and that will be across the 20 to the 25, just short of a first down. It'll bring up third down and about 2.
A heck of a season for East Forsyth, man. Doing what you needed to do to make the playoffs in a very competitive region. And I think kind of reinvented themselves a few times. And all you can ask is for your team to give the other one the best shot. And I think they came in here and did that in the first half. Just, I think, a little too much firepower for the Cadets in the second half.
Again, they're content to let the clock run here. This is going to be Norman, and he will keep it off the right side. They want to get that first down, and he does.
I know who's getting my helmet sticker for that team, and that's number 16. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, Jackson Norman, a senior for them.
16 on the carry, Norman. That's about his 55th carry tonight.
I think the PA guy said, yeah, he's had like a 50 carries tonight, it seems like. They'll give it to Norman again off the left side. He'll turn the corner and shoved out of bounds after a gain of about 1. It'll bring up second down and 9, and BC going deep into the bench here defensively. Again, now you see the playbook shrunken down immensely. I think they're just snapping it to Norman and saying, can we just get out of here?
Yeah, I think you're letting your seniors get some touches.
So here's the snap to Norman. He'll go straight ahead, and nicely done by that young man, and he'll get about 7 on first down.
I think some of the backups are coming in for BC going, holy smokes, these guys hit hard.
Working towards 2 minutes. Snap on 3rd and short. It's Norman again. He'll go off the left side. He's got the first down, still on his feet, and here's a touchdown saving tackle.
For a first down. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give that young man a hand. He's carried the ball about 50 times tonight.
I will say this, Kevin. The PA announcer just asked the home stands to give the away quarterback a hand. If I was that away quarterback, I'd say, you can stick that applause right back where it came from.
And Norman's going to take it again. Oh, my goodness. He took a shot.
How about Rasheen getting in there? Big hit.
There we go. Second down and 10. Rasheen's gotten a lot of snaps at linebacker there in the second half. Working towards a minute to go in this one. And it'll be Norman straight ahead again, and he'll get across or inside the 45 down to the 44.
My brother is going to need an ice bath after this one, though. I'll say that.
Is that Ridge Reddick? I think one of those big defensive linemen in there with the tackle. Cadets will improve to 8-2 if they can hang on to this 35-point lead in the next 45 seconds.
Yeah, 8 wins in a row. Start 0-2 with losses to Colquitt and Buford, and then got things on track.
One more snap. This is going to be Norman again off the left side. Breaks through. That's a first down. Just taking guys with him.
Norman carries for a first down.
So that'll stop the clock momentarily. And let's see if they run another play. They don't have to snap it. 20 seconds left in the ball game. I think they're going to give Norman one more carry here. And they'll take it. Norman off the left side. Tries to cut outside and will get tackled at about the 30. And that'll do it. Cadets line up in midfield. And they win it 42-7. 35 straight unanswered points in the second half coming out of the locker room, Christian. They win it, move on to the second round. They'll be right back here next Friday night if the score holds against Cass in round 2 of the state playoffs.
Yeah, and you talk about going into halftime, Kevin, tied 7-7, and this team kind of holding their breath a little bit, saying, this is not what we were expecting, but what an answer and what a great job coaching there at the halftime. I don't think it was adjustment so much. It was, hey, just get back to what you do well. Defense came out, got a big stop. Offense went right down the field and scored a touchdown. And then after that, it was just the defense leaning on them and the offense getting the football to playmakers. So BC got back to themselves a little bit. Took a couple of quarters to do it, but when they did, they were unstoppable.
And a big effort tonight here for the Cadets. They will move on to round number 2. We'll come back as we get to our attorney, Jonathan Dunn, post-game show. A lot to get to. We'll name our Cool Vibes Pizza player of the game. Talk with the head coach, Danny Britt, as we look ahead towards week 2 of the state playoffs. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
Criminal defense, family law, child custody, DUI, and divorce. When so much is on the line, you need expert legal representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted the Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023 and an Avo top attorney rating of 9.7. You can count on Jonathan V. Dunn to leave no stone unturned to deliver the justice you seek. Contact 912-200-9352 or online at jvdattorney.com.
Welcome back. Attorney Jonathan Dunn, post-game show is underway. Cadets 35 unanswered in the second half. They win it 42-7, and they will be right back home again here next week at Memorial Stadium. Christian Gokel, as you look at this one tonight, a good test when you came out 2 weeks off after the last game because everybody had an off week last week. You're singing the alma mater here. But at the half, 7-7, offense looked out of sync, looked clunky. Some breakdowns on the offensive line. Defense didn't play bad, but we're giving up a lot of long time-consuming drives. And you're saying, if this team doesn't get it together, if you get behind 14-7 with a team taking 5-6 minutes every time they touch the football, this could get hairy very quickly. And to their credit, 3 and out, went down and scored a touchdown, interception, scored a touchdown, pick 6, and within the matter of about 3 minutes of game time, it had gotten out of hand in the third quarter.
Yeah, and again, just kind of a cascade effect. You had BC getting the 3 and out, scoring the touchdown, and then it felt like East Forsyth knew that they had to put up some points. They start trying to get outside their comfort zone a little bit, slinging the football around. Makai Williams steps up, makes a big interception, and then BC was off to the races after that. So the Cadets got back to doing what they do well, and they executed at a very high level. I think that first half was good for them. It's the playoffs. This is real now, and I think probably for the first time all week, not just the players, not just the coaches, the fans too, you got that taste in your mouth that if you make mistakes, that's it. There's no, hey, we're going to get right next week and we'll go back and win. You have to be perfect every game or your season's over, and I think BC took that to heart, came out and dominated in the second half.
Time for our Cool Vibes Pizza player of the game. Christian, a number of places you could go. Where are you going here with it tonight after a 42-7 win?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense was the one who really got things going for the Cadets, and the play that I think flipped everything was Makai Williams in that interception. He came up, made some big tackles as well, had some stops on some plays that had kind of gotten past the linebackers a little bit. So I'm going to give it to BC's safety. I think Makai Williams did his job and kind of flipped the momentum for the Cadets.
Yeah, stemmed the tide and then turned the tide, so to speak, there for the Cadets tonight. So Makai Williams, and a young man who missed the early portion of the season here for BC and has come along and played a bigger role, obviously down the stretch, and kind of slid right back in. Never knew he was gone there at safety, and him and Wyatt Estabrook have held down the back end. But Makai, seemingly the last couple of weeks, has come up with a big play defensively and helped things go back BC's way.
I think there's a number of players you could point to defensively who had really nice nights. Obviously, Cam Cody, man, was just unblockable, and I feel like we can say that every single game. He was a huge one. How about Jameer Lee next to him, filling in for the injured Isaac Scott? Thought he did a really good job just sticking his nose in there and playing that defensive end position. And then Larson Little, your senior inside linebacker, got about 1 million tackles for you, gets an interception and gets into the end zone. That was really cool to see from him as well. Had a couple of big tackles for loss as well. So defensively, you could point to a number of guys, Kevin, who I think had huge nights.
Certainly. And again, defensively, it was a different intensity coming out of the locker room. You could see it from that 3 and out, just the way guys were reacting there on the football field. It was something a little different. Now you see the hugs all around on the other end, and that's what we talked about earlier this time of year. The East Forsyth seniors all kind of, hey, I don't want to be taking off the uniform just yet, but
babies and memories.
The last game you'll play in high school, and did want to give a shout out again now that it is over. Jackson Norman, heck of a football game for East Forsyth. Really did a good job, and I'm sure Coach Britt will have plenty to say about trying to slow down that power run. I was going to say it during the game. It reminded me a lot of maybe 10 years ago against Fitzgerald, where it was very similar. Everybody packed in, and Fitzgerald just crammed it down BC's throat, and there was nothing they could do about it. And you kind of got the shades of, is this a throwback to a decade ago of, Fitzgerald just phone booth football in it, and we're just going to run left, we're going to run right, we're going to run up the middle, and we're going to put 10 on 10 and see if you can beat us. And they stemmed that tide tonight. Obviously, they're in the second half.
And what's so dangerous about doing that, though, Kevin, is when BC does really start to click on offense, it's so hard to get out of that mold on offense. So it's a plan that can win, but there's no plan B, and that's why you've seen most colleges get away from that style of offense. Is you're going to run into games where you got into a little bit of a track meet, and when that happened in the second half, didn't feel like East Forsyth had the answer. So I think what BC did a really good job of, Stephen Cannon, and it starts with him, is you didn't give them the devastating play. Yeah, they fought and hung around, and they made a couple of sacks, and it just kept things close, but you didn't give them the game breaker where they like, hey, we're in the lead, now we got it. They missed a couple of field goals early. You miss a field goal. Everything's kind of even going in at half, but you don't have that interception, fumble where you're trying to force something. You eat a couple sacks. He did a good job, did Stephen Cannon, of getting rid of the football when he needed to there in the first half. And then the second half, just playing that point guard position, distributing the ball well. Had a couple of nice throws downfield, but for the most part, just executing the offense, slinging it out to the guys in the flat and letting them make some plays.
You see Danny Britt chatting on the field. He will join us coming up in here in just a little bit as soon as he is done down there for his chat with us here on the postgame show. But you're going to get a team from the Atlanta area, I think actually from Atlanta proper next week, either Cass or Mays. Cass was winning by 2 touchdowns at last check. So they're going to take the ride down from Atlanta and come here and play a fired up BC team next week.
I will say the offense from East Forsyth, everybody's still in the third quarter, and we're wrapping up the post-game show. So just draining that clock there in the first half. I think the first half took less than 50 minutes. So you saw the style of offense they were playing, and they hung around for about a quarter and a couple minutes, but huge game from BC there in the second half. Explosive offense, explosive plays on defense, and you're going to need more of that next week against a really, really talented team, whether it's Mays or Cass.
And while we await to chat with Danny Britt, just scores from around the region. Ware County 37-27. They're leading Flowery Branch. That one's been going back and forth. Warner Robins was up a couple of touchdowns at last check. Christian and Perry was the only team in the region that was trailing earlier in the night. So a chance for this region to go 3-1 after the first week. And unless they came back in the second half, Perry was trailing there to a very good North Oconee team. So the comeback, if they do it, would be one of the eye openers around the state if that happened tonight. So region 3-1, and again, kind of holding up that this is one of the best ones in the state, and at least through the first round has looked pretty good.
I was going to say, we talked about it already. If I'm Flowery Branch, I'm like, this is the 3 seed I get in Ware County, but it just shows you how strong and deep this region is. And Perry by no means getting blown out. They're going up and giving a good fight to North Oconee. So a really talented, really deep region. And again, we've talked about it a lot, but how about the run that Warner Robins, I say that North Oconee now leads 31-7. So maybe a little bit of a blowout. But again, Warner Robins has gone on a heck of a run towards the end of this season. You beat Ware in a huge upset. You use that momentum. You beat Perry to earn the 2 seed. You host a playoff game, and now you're beating Eastside by 2 touchdowns. That's a heck of a job by their entire coaching staff.
Yeah, we were all writing the eulogy of Warner Robins earlier in the season, and now they might be headed on
61-7 in this stadium in October.
They might be heading on to the second round. I see Coach Britt making his way up here, Christian Gokel. So we'll step aside. We'll chat with the head football coach of the Cadets, Danny Britt, when we come back. This is the attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show here on Watch BC Sports.
The honor, The heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBC Sports.
Plan your hunting getaway and escape to experience the beauty of Mossy Pond. Our diverse property right here in Pierce County allows you to enjoy various types of hunts, including plantation-style quail, hog, pheasant, and flooded timber-style duck hunts, all within 24 hours. At the center of it all, experience scenic, rustic, beautiful, and inviting amenities like luxury lodging, our first-class pro shop, fine dining, and the perfect event space. Book now and see why Mossy Pond Lodge is Georgia's premier hunting paradise.
I'm Kenny Granger from Cash and Carry. We're a family-owned business right here in Savannah. We have sections of vehicles that really make it all simple. You'll get a printout of where the vehicle's at, the color of the vehicle. We really want them to be able to come in the yard and find out right where they need to be. The average savings would be at least 70, 80, could be even 90% compared to original manufactured parts. So you can come to a place like Cash and Carry and find the parts that you need at an extremely reasonable price. We'd love for you to come check us out.
It's the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show. We're here with the head football coach, Danny Britt. And Coach, you get one to play one more. That's what you had coming in tonight. Now you got one more to play one more after that. But at the half, it was 7-7, maybe a little closer than, for whatever it's worth, the prognosticators thought it might have been. But what was the message at halftime? Because it was a new ball club in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think it was as intense as maybe some people would think because, basically just challenged them and said, here we are, forever's happening right now. It's not happening in a couple of weeks. It's not happening, for a state championship. It's happening right now. And if we don't go out and play immediately, then it'll be horrible. And they came out and responded. I would have to say that.
I was going to say, it might be a painful memory from way back, but the way the first half went kind of reminded me of your battles with Fitzgerald from maybe a decade ago, where it was just phone booth football and who's going to want it more at the point of attack. And you kind of took that away in the second half.
Well, it was a great plan by them. And we knew that that's what they were going to do, is come out, put it in a phone booth, try to get a first down, but do it in 3 or 4 downs, keep our offense off the field. And if they could just get 1 or 2 stops, and that's what they did, get 1 or 2 stops, and all of a sudden we're in a 7-7 game at halftime. So good job by them. Good job by the coaches doing it. Good job by their kids executing. But then when we came out in the second half and shut that down, that running game down, then it just changed everything.
And again, it seemed like you could say this a lot, but you talk about baseball teams look up the middle. You're up the middle tonight with Mackay and Larson, and I should include the whole defensive line. But I mean, you guys were winning. Cam, Larson, Mackay, right up the middle. They were big in the second half.
They did. They came out, and it was good adjustments by the Coach Houston and defensive staff. We actually changed some personnel a little bit. Got Larson in at the buck position, which is more of a combo defensive back with Schumann. Put Larson in with more, about 25 more pounds and a lot stronger, and he played it very physical. And then adjusted with some other guys and on the defensive front, and just made good adjustments there to stop it.
Coach, offensively tonight, it was a little clunky for Steven in the first half. I know maybe you look at the tape, offensive line had some breakdowns there on those drives. Second half, though, it seemed more, hey, we're going to take what they're giving us and turn it into some big plays.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was not fluid at all in the first half. And everybody would, say that. Everybody could see it, and Steven, of course, is the quarterback, so that falls on him. But it wasn't just him. It was the entire offense. And we just, And then defensively, we didn't give ourselves but a couple of opportunities offensively. You know, we drove down the field the first drive. That was beautiful. And then, you know, we only got a couple more, right, in the first half. So, you know, but it, you know, they came out and executed well in the second half.
And again, it doesn't hurt, and you can do this to a lot of people. But when you're struggling, you got plenty of dudes to give them the football and say, "Go make a play." And certainly, Aaron did that. Bubba did what he did. Stanley Smart had a huge run, and you have so many guys like, "Hey, just go make a play," and they did that.
Definitely have guys that can just make plays. I mean, Aaron, you couldn't touch him, you know, in a daggum shoebox. You know, he is nuts. And you know, all those guys can make plays. It has to be unbelievably hard to defend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just know if you keep giving them the ball, one of them is going to break one. One of them is going to, you know, make you pay. And that's what we look forward to.
Coach, you get another week to try to get another week. You're going to have a team from the Atlanta area. Instead of you going to Atlanta, they're going to have to come here next week. But how big is that preparation-wise? Environment, you know, it was not cold tonight. You had to go some cold nights in Atlanta last year, just staying at home and knowing, hey, we get at least one more time in front of the Memorial Stadium crowd here.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I thought it was a good crowd here. And, you know, we did our job in the first half to take them out of it. But they came alive in the second half when we came alive. And, you know, proud of that. And it's exciting to be here. I told the boys just now they'll never see relaxed Coach Britt ever again. He's gone. I will be an a-hole. And Miss Stephanie says I'm, you know, that's what I do best anyway. So that's what I'm going to be. It's going to be coming at them because, you know, we just can't come out and start like that ever again.
That's the right time of year to get after them from the jump. Coach Britt, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much. On to the second round.
That's right. Thank you. Go Cadets.
Coach Danny Britt joining us here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show after a 42-7 win here this evening over East Forsyth. They will get, I guess I didn't know if you checked while we were talking with Coach Britt, most likely still Cass.
Yeah, Cass up by 15 currently.
So they will most likely be coming here. I'll step back so you can see us over here.
I'm not that much taller.
Coming to Memorial Stadium. But again, as he said, can't afford it. You got by with it today in the second half, but as you go round by round, can't afford to come and play a first half the way they did here tonight.
Yeah, can't rely on a 28-point third quarter to get the job done every time. Got to come out firing from the jump. And again, I don't know how much of that has to do with having that week off. And you clinched the region 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So did you take the foot off the pedal a little bit before you came into this one? I think you got a stark reminder that anybody can beat anyone any given Friday. And it's always good to learn a lesson in a win. 42-7, a resounding win. But again, you look back 7-7 at halftime. You got to come out firing.
Well, you're guaranteed one more.
That's it.
Christian, which means we're guaranteed one more Danny Britt show.
Let's go.
Next Thursday, high noon. Come out to Bowtie Barbecue for lunch with Christian and the coach as they recap this one. Look ahead to Cass or Mays. Right now it looks like Cass. And get ready for another Friday night here under the lights.
And look forward to a home game and not having to get on a bus.
That is so true. So we will be here next Friday night, Christian and coach. Thursday, high noon at Bowtie Barbecue. Big win for the Cadets tonight. What a turnaround there in the second half. For Christian Gokel, I'm Kevin Thomas. We will see you soon here on Watch BC Sports. Have a great night.